So the appropriate way to start Mock Draft 1.0 is by breaking some news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
See, this is where I don't just break some news. I do a little investigative reporting.
Uh-huh.
So I finished the mock draft last night.
Mm-hmm.
I got a text about 7 o'clock last night of Ty Simpson's is going to enter the draft.
Yep.
He wasn't coming back to Alabama. That was undeniable. He was either going to go to Oregon or Tennessee. Ty Simpson declaring gives me a little angina that possibly Dante Moore's not going to. Because if Oregon thinks they're going to get Dante Moore back, they don't have to go down the Ty Simpson rabbit hole. If Tennessee's the only suitor, which they were that was the two he was interested in, then the offer probably came down. And I'm reading tea leaves here, but I can tell you that there was something that went into the Ty Simpson camp where he went, I'm better off just declare. Because that was not where this was headed. So he is in the mock draft. He is in the first round. So is Dante Moore. But as a Jets fan and a fan of the team that has the number 2 pick and real badly needs a quarterback, I have a steady pool of indigestion that I need a Maalox, a Tums, and maybe some Metamucil because I don't like where this is headed.
Well, because if Dante Moore goes back, then Ty Simpson's number 2.
Let's just not say that again.
Well, you know it's true.
For me, Ty Simpson and Trinidad Chambliss would be real close.
But Trinidad ain't coming back, though. I mean, he's not going pro. He's going to get the waiver from the NCAA, you would think. Maybe.
He could get denied there. He also could get the agent in his ear going, you do know that you might end up going to the top. Trevor Sikkema had him at 11. I'm not going that high, but I could see a path that he gets into the first round. And if he gets first round buzz, I mean, he's already 23. He'll be 24 by the time the 27 draft rolls around.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So Ty Simpson, he has declared for the 2026 NFL draft.
And he is in the mock draft.
So let's get into it. Number 1 pick in the 2026 NFL draft belongs to
the Las Vegas Raiders.
They deserve it because that's a sucky franchise. And unfortunately,
I mean, you know who it is. It's Fernando Mendoza.
I'm so excited to have to go to Las Vegas and turn that thing into that whole city needs a transformation because there's a lot of sin. Why do I feel like he is like super like religious? Is he?
I have no idea.
Because I don't know. I mean, I know he's all about his teammates, and teammates are great, and everybody just loves to play football on this team. But for some reason, I feel like he should have been going to like BYU. Like I feel like he should be.
ESPN. I just feel like Fernando Mendoza is that kid that shows up at the draft in Pittsburgh, and he decides, I want to go party after the draft. And then he meets one big ginger mullet at NFL Draft Nerd, and the next thing you know, he's going, this is a den of sin, and I don't like this at all, and I don't know what to do. Yeah. Fernando, that's called Fireball. And you're going to learn to love it because you're going to get angry a lot in Las Vegas.
I mean, look, it could go one of two ways. Either he is going to be the most straight-laced number 1 draft pick of all time, or he is going to crash and burn if he ends up in Las Vegas and being corrupted by that city.
Well, the thing about Mendoza is that he's grown a lot this year, and there definitely is something to that. I mean, you do have to look at the transformation from when he came to Cal. I still see some of the things that worry me about him. He really struggles with pressure in his face. There's a lot to like about him. I'm in like, not love. And I don't think he's as ready-made of a prospect as you want him to be, especially going to a team in Las Vegas that has Brock Bowers. End of message. Because I don't buy Ashton Genty. So how many things can you fix in 1 year to put in front or behind this kid to prop him up?
Well, at least
I'm on record saying I think Fernando Mendoza is going to be an epic bust.
Well, at least your offensive line should be better, right? I mean, at least you'll have a coach that you'll listen to. Did you see that story?
I did.
That the whole offensive line had to go to Ashton Gianti and Geno Smith to ask how to block for him because Pete Carroll's kid didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, it was an indictment on Vegas. And look, I think Vegas is going to be better.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to be worse. So
no doubt.
I think they will be better. I will say one of the picks that I leaned on the most, and this is going to sound a little crazy right now. I don't think it's going to sound crazy in April. I almost put Dante Moore at 1. And, I mean, I sat here and pined over it.
Thought about it, yeah.
I don't – with how I think the playoffs going to go. I mean, because, look, we get this game. We get Mendoza, Dante Moore on Friday.
Yeah.
By the way, you want to talk about a game with a lot wrapped into it? You got the number 1 quarterback versus the number 2 quarterback. Whichever one loses is going to come out immediately, I think. But if it's Dante Moore, if it's not Dante Moore, you do realize how funky the schedule is, how funky this calendar in the NCAA is. So Oregon's going to have to sit out the transfer portal at quarterback and not know if Dante Moore's coming back or not.
Mm-hmm.
You want the biggest reason for why we have to move this schedule? Found it. What quarterback's going to sign with Oregon to sit behind Dante Moore? And there is a lot of smoke out there that he could come back. For all of our Oregon fans notwithstanding, we should all be rooting real hard for Indiana, or we're going to have a very, very strange next week and a half with Oregon.
Okay.
Because the portal closes 3 days before the national title game.
So you're saying if Dante Moore makes it to the championship game, he won't come.
Oregon
won't
won't
back?
know.
Oh,
I mean, they can ask him.
I mean, I feel like you know.
They can. All right, so this is a little bit of a tangent, but
I get
let's say Dante Moore goes, 80% completion percentage, throws for 325, has 4 touchdowns, and he's just out of this world. And all of us universally go, that's the number 1 quarterback. You're telling me this kid's going to come back in spite of the fact he's the number 1 player in the draft? I don't buy it.
I don't think he comes back regardless.
Nah, there's a lot out there. A lot. I mean, and it's been coming out since October of don't pencil this kid in this draft. He likes college. He's well compensated, and he's fine. And there's 2 ways to look at that. If he loses, does he want to come back more to potentially win a national championship?
Maybe.
Or does he need the 2 games to prop him up to be the number 1 pick? I like to call this Schrodinger's quarterback.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're fighting over number 1 or number 2, there's no logical reason why you would come back and risk injury, risk ruining your draft stock next year.
It's a new day.
I don't see. I guess.
It's a new day.
You got money.
Depending on how that contract's renegotiated. Look, I've heard some of the numbers on quarterbacks that I don't believe in all that much. I've heard numbers of what they got to go to their new schools. If I'm not going to call out a name here, but if a quarterback got $4 million to be the quarterback of a mediocre Big 12 school, what do you think Dante Moore's going to get to come back? With Papa Phil being the ones cutting the check. I don't think it's that cut and dry, especially as happy as he is in college.
Yeah.
But Fernando Mendoza, I don't think you can pass him. This is almost, for me, reticent of it, or at least it reminds me of a handful of drafts, including last year. I liked Jackson Dart as much, if not better, than Cam Ward, but I knew definitively you can't take Dart over Ward because the bust potential is so much higher.
Right. So Fernando Mendoza at number 1 to the Las Vegas Raiders. On the clock at number 2, the New York Football Jets.
It should come as no surprise, Dante Moore, quarterback out of Oregon.
Right.
Which one do you like better?
Dante, and it's not close.
It's not close?
I mean, there's just something about Fernando that makes me feel like this dude is, I don't know. He just strikes me as one of those, he's a really good college quarterback. I don't know if he's got what it takes to be in the NFL. He sounds like he's got the intellectual mind to be able to absorb a playbook and understand it and run an offense. But again, I just don't know if he can carry a franchise. And if he's going to Las Vegas, one of the worst damn franchises on the planet, I'm 100% in the bust category.
So if you had to pinpoint one thing you really like about Dante Moore, what is it? There's not an incorrect answer here. I'm just curious.
No,
because for me, it's one thing that I am. It's a 1-2 punch. It's an old Mike Tyson gut left, cross right. That's just yep. That's why I like you.
I mean, I like almost everything about him.
I love how quick his release is. It's one of the quickest releases I've ever seen, and he processes so fast. You know who else does that? Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last quarterback that I put those two things together on the top line of what I liked about them the most. I would, if I had the number one pick and all things were equal, I would take Dante Moore over Fernando Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that a new GM and a new coach are going to be able to do that because the hype on Mendoza is going to be crazy.
Yes, especially if he wins the national championship. Whichever one of these guys wins the national championship, I think that's where the hype swings. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza comes with more because he won the Heisman Trophy. But as history has shown us throughout the draftmas seasons of past, when Jeremy says you should probably take this quarterback over that quarterback,
you should.
I'm erring on the side of Jeremy.
The only thing about Dante Moore is he does have an element of Jose Canseco to him, which is, man, you can beat the absolute laces off baseball. There are times that you struggle to do the most basic stuff. Dante Moore, the worst plays he had all year were the simplest play calls. Mm-hmm. It was the absolute, just lay the bunt down. That's all you have to put a wooden bat on a ball and you're fine. Nothing else matters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I would see some bad, inconsistent tape. He also doesn't run much. I think he can. He just doesn't. He's not going to run. I know that. I would love to know what his 40 time is.
Fernando?
No.
Dante.
Dante. I would love to clock his 40 time and see what that actually looks like because I think it's way slow.
Really? Okay.
I think it's in the high 4.8s, low 4.9s. And I've said this about other quarterbacks in the past. C.J. Stroud, he didn't really like to run. Mm-hmm. Bryce didn't run a ton. I think he's slower than both of them. Now, he's crafty.
I was going to say,
and
he's got that pocket.
Out.
He's got like a pocket presence that
he does.
Kind of uncanny.
And it's not that I'm dinging him on that he doesn't run.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if you're one of those teams that I really want a hyper-mobile quarterback, I'm not sure he's going to be the one that you fall in love with.
All right, we got a quarterback battle at the top of the 2026 NFL Draft. That's if Dante Moore comes out.
And if he doesn't, Jeremy will cry in his soup for about 4 months because then I know please God, Darren Muji, I don't ask for much. If you take Ty Simpson, I swear to you, I'll burn everything I own. I'll be a Seahawks fan. I'm riding with Sam. Screw it. I'm out.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The mock draft 1.0 of the Sportsocracy continues after this.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM. 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. Be sure to follow us on all the socials at the Sportsocracy, and especially for the Draftmas season, you want to be following at the Draft Nerd.
The NFL Draft
The
Nerd.
NFL
I'm going to
Draft
put that up
Nerd.
on a board
You
back
should.
here.
I mean, somewhere you should put it up on a board.
All I did was take out the ESPN and put in the NFL.
The NFL Draft Nerd.
Kind of like the Ohio State University.
Exactly.
I am the NFL Draft Nerd.
Yes, see, that's how that's supposed to be said. Like the Sportsocracy.
Bingo. The is a high-volume word.
It is. Many people treat it as a throwaway word. We treat it as the word.
Critical.
It is a mock draft Wednesday here in the Sportsocracy as the first 2 picks are off the board. We'll continue with that right after we get to, some Super Chats.
Cause it's all about the money, money, money. All about the money, money, money. I do this for my hustle.
And first, Kelvin Joyner. So the Raiders have too many holes to stay at that pick at number 1. Trade back, load up on capital. Who gives them a whole bunch for it?
Oh, if you want to trade back, you'll be able to.
Really?
I mean, just look at how many teams need a quarterback. Cleveland's desperate at 6. The problem is you're going to have to go back so far. So you'd have to go back to 11 with Miami.
Nope.
The Rams could come up to from 13 and 29, but there's no telling how much that's going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the 2 I've really circled. Cleveland has 2 first-round picks. So 6, 28, and a little more. If I'm the Raiders, I'm at half mass if you offer that to me.
Really?
In this draft, absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of people say this draft really there's Matt Miller, and you know I love Matt Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I have 11 first-round grades, and I went,
you did it wrong.
You should pay. Then you should here. Let me send you a VHS in the mail because I got about 10 more that you should probably watch.
Right.
There's just a couple guys that people are completely off on, and I know why it went that way, and I don't get why you're not seeing it.
Right.
And that's not an indictment of Matt. Matt will probably have another, I'll say 8 to 10 by the time we get to draft night. But I just saw the tagline of there's 11 first-round grades, and I went, I have significantly more than that.
Is this the star quality? Is this
No.
that there are no major stars past 11 or 12 or whatever?
I think there are no less than 8 guys that could be.
No, I'm saying
Big boy stars.
Yeah, I'm saying amongst the rest of because we already know that you're built different. You think about this thing differently. When we start seeing mock drafts, right?
Okay, I'll put this the best way I know how. There are, to my count, there are 27 guys in this draft that if they go to the right situation could end up being future Pro Bowl, All-Pro type players.
That's pretty deep.
Now, of those 27, there's about 15 that can go to the wrong place, and they'll be working at Home Depot by 2030.
Or at least hoping that they go to the
So buyer beware, big dog.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So potential risk, we'll say, with some of the top players in this 2026 NFL draft. We have another super chat.
Got a member chat from Colin who just said hello to us, asked how life is. We're inside 100 days to the NFL draft, so for us, we're all bricked up, bro. At least that's how I feel. I'm 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I'm running off. I chased a cafe latte protein shake with a black coffee with a vape that I never sat down today.
Yes.
Draft season.
I am as salty right now about the NFL and my team and the situation of the offseason as everybody accused me of being about the college football playoff. It never was about jealousy. It was just I didn't care about any of those teams. Right now, I am so livid inside that this did not go the way I wanted it to. Like Trevor Sikkema, I blame him. Trevor got me all amped up yesterday. Did you see his tweet where he was like, this is what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should
John
do.
Harbaugh.
And we go get John Harbaugh, and we bring back Todd Monken, and we bring in Wink Martindale to run the defense. We trade 2 first-round draft picks for Max Crosby, and we get Nakobe Dean. And which, Nakobe Dean, that immediately just went half-mast for me.
If you paid real attention to that tweet, you'll notice that, and it should be because we follow each other.
Yeah.
One of your first replies should have been from me, and I went, no less than 2 of those things are completely out of the range of possibilities for Tampa Bay.
None of it was out of the realm of possibilities. It all could have happened if Trevor Sikkema was the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you know what, Jason, get on.
Hey, you hire Trevor Sikkema as a GM, I've got a pretty good idea that Jeremy's going to have a role in that administration, so I'm all the way in.
That's what I'm saying. Put Flostradamus in my draft room, please, and we won't have any more Yaya Diabis.
Yaya's not bad.
Yeah.
Trust me, you've made a lot of boo-boos.
Josh Tryon Shoyinkas.
There's a good one. Logan Hall.
Logan Hall.
Yeah. But we have one more super chat, and it's directly related to the next team on the board.
Cause it's all about the money, money, money. All about the money, money, money. I do this for my hustle all day.
It's from Red Sea, who said, I need the mock draft now. That was while we were talking about John Harbaugh. We had to hold on to that super chat for a minute.
Yeah.
But we're in a pick number 3, and it's his team.
That is correct. At the third pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select.
This is the first swerve. And I don't know if he's going to hate this or love it. I'm not sure. So here's where and I'm going to tell you how my thought process went.
Okay.
Right now, what do you feel like the Cardinals have set in stone? Left tackle.
Sure.
2 wide receivers. Handful of players on your defense, because I really like what you got out of Walter Nolan while he was healthy.
Okay.
He just wasn't healthy for the vast majority of the year.
Okay.
Will Johnson. Josh Sweat. You got a handful of pieces on defense.
By the way, was Will Johnson hurt bad in that game?
I don't know. I haven't seen an update yet.
Okay. All right. I just saw that he got hurt, and I never.
Once I start into the draft, every player in the NFL mentally got abducted by space aliens on
Just
Sunday.
as soon as you said that, it reminded me that I saw that play, and then I never followed up to see how he was after that. But okay, very few pieces are nailed down. So you're saying if you've got left tackle sewed up, then what?
I have to take, if I'm the Cardinals, new coach, good GM, I have to take the, to me, absolute can't-miss player of this draft.
Who is?
Francis Mauigoa. I think there's no miss in him whatsoever. This is one of those places where I disagree with the industry so much because they say so many stupid things about a player like Mauigoa. Well, he could be a 10-time Pro Bowler guard, or he could be a 7-time Pro Bowler right tackle. But, well, neither one of those things are really worth the... Oh, yeah? So what would you do? Like if you were the one, you're the one pulling the strings here. Your right tackle has been an absolute turnstile for 3 years. I have the chance to take one where now I have bookend tackles for the next 10 years. But, Mauigoa, his arms might be a quarter inch too short. Yeah, so are Will Campbell's. I think I said that 300 times last year. How'd that work out? That worked out pretty damn good, didn't it? It's weird. All those times, well, his arms are too short. Or, when he walks, his left foot gates into the right, and, we're afraid one of these days he's going to fall down and break his nose. Can he play football? When I watch Miami, Francis Mauigoa runs through people like a hot knife through butter. Will that work? Yeah. Because my alternative is I take Arvell Reese. I'm good. Especially for that defense. I don't need another receiver. That's what's real high up there. I take Caleb Downs. One of the only positions on this team where I go, you got 2 legitimate starters there, is at safety. Or I take Jeremiyah Love. I love Jeremiyah Love. I don't love taking a running back at 3 unless his name is Saquon Barkley. That's about the only one. Okay. So to me, this is the easiest pick in the draft. I didn't think about this for a second. Oh, Mauigoa's there? Cool. That fits to what I want. Offensive line becomes excrementy very fast in this class. I'll go get one that I know is going to start right away. I'll fill some other holes in free agency, and we'll see you in the second round. I can't wait to see what I willfully did not look to see what Red Sea said about that.
There is he's super chatted.
Show me the money, money.
And his response is like the player, just wish we could have traded back to take him. provided that trades are allowed.
They're not.
Not in
mock draft 1.0,
Yeah.
I do not do trades, and I'll tell you, there's two reasons for that. One, it's way too early in the process. Two, the whole draft order's not set. So I'm punching blind after 18, and I can't do that. The first mock that has trades will be after the Senior Bowl, and that one will be YouTube exclusive. So you get the wordy dirties.
Which is always important.
Oh, and we'll have some. That'll be Jeremy and friends live from Mobile. The lovely Megan has been. She's been putting in work too. By the end of that, it might just be a cast of characters where Jeremy's the only one that didn't play in the NFL. Rudy toot 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 toot.
Francis, how do you keep saying his name?
Mauigoa.
Mauigoa. There's not an N in there.
There's
just
not.
So you know.
There's not, but that's how you pronounce his name.
He's Magui. And Francis Magui, or Sissy, as he's called apparently. Okay. Call him a sissy once. I dare you.
Apparently, he's fine with it. We have one more super chat. It's from Red Feather, who said, all I'm asking for at this point, no major screw-ups. Don't tamper. Don't make huge reaches. Don't sign free agents that can't play. Hashtag go Cards. That's exactly what I did. I took the safest player in this class. If you tell me that 15 years from now, Francis Mauigoa has 2 feet, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 hands, and a head, he was a really good player in this league. From here, I don't know that there's another player in this class that I could say that about.
There you go.
Because there's a whole mess of them where we could go, how'd you do that? Like, he's like Charles Rogers' little brother. Oops.
See, I feel like if you can get the safest player in the draft at number 3, it's absolutely fine. Red Sea is just concerned because he feels like that's too high.
Oh, putting in work did correct me there. There is one more. He just plays a position that's not necessarily super valuable. There's actually 2
We know
more.
who it is.
Yeah, there's 2 more.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy. Yep. Go ahead.
Go ahead. We'll do
your hand like we're in a Zoom meeting or something.
See that? That's a thumb. See, if that thumb's tucked in, that means it's 4. I wasn't raising my hand.
It's the fourth quarter?
Go to 4.
Gotcha.
The fourth pick.
Fourth quarter. Let's go.
We're not to the fourth quarter
Raise
yet.
up the 4s. Let's go. It is the Sportsocracy Mock Draft 1.0. Number 4 selection in the draft belongs to the Tennessee Titans.
Arvell Reese, edge rusher, Ohio State. Now, that's the name. Now we get into Arvell Reese is going to drive me to drinking before this draft process is over.
Why is that?
It's not that I don't like him. I have a huge bust rate on guys that I don't know exactly what position you play. So what I said about Mauigoa is that he's really safe because his fallback, okay, let's say it doesn't work at right tackle. I don't know how that would happen. I don't see that, but let's say it did. If it does, he goes into guard, and he is an absolute stud. The fallback for Arvell Reese is that he winds up playing inside linebacker, and you know what it reminds me of in an eerie way? Harold Landry. Harold Landry's never been a bad player per se.
No.
He's just never been a great player. And that's my problem. And I'm not going to lie, this is why I bet so much money on Miami, because I looked at this defense and went, yeah, you have a lot of really talented high-end players. Because Arvell Reese looks like he's going to be Javon Curse 2.0. He's 6'4", he's 240 pounds. He's going to, if he runs, he will run super fast. He's really strong. He's good against the run. And then there's the one problem. I don't know what position you play, and every time you move around, it looks like you know one way less than the others.
He just looks like a giant safety to me.
It's funny. It's real funny you said that, because there's another player on this defense that is a giant safety.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him in a little bit. Arvell Reese is one of those players that gets you fired. Because if you're right, you've got an elite edge-setting edge rusher forever. I don't know that he can cover, because I think his ideal fit is standing in a 3-4. I also, and there are 2 of these, This reminds me of that Isaiah Simmons problem, that you've been the biggest, freakiest player on the field for so long that you never actually learned how to play football. So, yes, raw talent, he is out of this world. But then you get into the nuance, and none of it's there. None of it's there. Mm-hmm. He is a raw ball of clay. Now, the reason that I like him with Tennessee is because you got Jeffrey Simmons clogging up the middle of that, and you got T'Vondre Sweat. That allows a player like that to run really free. It kind of goes to what I said about Carson Schlesinger.
Absolutely.
So you got Myles Garrett, you got Mason Graham in front of that. They're occupying a lot of blocks. I don't need you to always be setting the edge because I'm going to get pressure from the inside. There's going to be blocking breakdowns because I'm dealing with Simmons. I'm dealing with Sweat. I'm okay with it with Tennessee. There are a handful of other teams I'm scared to death. If he winds up with the New York Jets, I already hate him. As a Jets fan, I already hate him. Mm-hmm. Because it's him, Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson. I love all three of those names. I don't like you together.
Yeah.
And that's where I fall in with Reese is your ceiling is the roof. Your floor is the bomb shelter that we built this building on with dead skeletons in it. Because you could be a complete unmitigated bust who just can't play. Tennessee, you're so desperate for an edge rusher, you got to take the chance. And I know somebody will ask, well, why did they not draft a receiver? There are a lot of receivers in this draft. Receiver is one position we can go for rounds and rounds and rounds. I also think they really like Alec Ayumanor, and they really like Chimere DK.
I don't think there should be any question about that.
Well, for me, long-term, DK's the 3, Ayumanor's the 2. I would be more looking to either rehab Calvin Ridley. I know that didn't go well this year. But I need a legit 1. I'm not sure either of the 2 that are up here are going to be that quick enough to help you with Cam Ward. When you see the 2 teams the receivers go to, you'll understand why I said that way.
Okay.
Arvell Reese has an insane ceiling. But, man, he scares the bejesus out of me.
I remember you saying that about another player when we first started doing this. His name was Cleveland Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there. You're in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. Time to take a break. And we come back. We will pick it up with pick number 5 of the 2026 NFL Draft. Mock Draft number 1 from Flostradamus. Back into the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. It is Mock Draft Wednesday.
Mock Draft Wednesday
1.0 from at the NFL Draft Nerd, Jeremy Green. Someone asked in the chat, is this picks 1 through 18? Well, he went through and did all 32.
Yes.
Whether we do all 32.
If we don't get, I'll put it this way: if we don't get through all 32 on the ESPN Radio Box, we will stick with you after this on the YouTube stream to get to 32.
A little bit of overtime. There you go.
Well, hey, speaking of overtime, I do a show called Overtime.
You do?
Every Monday night, 7 to 9's call-in show. Call in, yell at me. Call in and ask me what you think about your team.
Yep.
Call in and ask me, why did the Tennessee Titans not take a wide receiver at number 4? Well, it's funny you ask that because we're to number 5, and I think your answer is going to come pretty daggum quick.
All right, with the 5th pick in the 2026 NFL Mock Draft 1.0, the New York Giants select
Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. I'm officially to the point, I don't care how many red flags an Ohio State receiver has. Just take them.
Mm-hmm.
They all work.
Yep.
They all work. You know why they work? Because they're all really, really, really good route runners. All of them. Brian Hartline, how he had to settle for South Florida, I have zero idea. That dude should have been the first call at Penn State because he develops wide receivers in a way that I don't think I've ever seen before. Because Carnell Tate is a BDD. I mean, he's 6'3", 195 pounds, got a nice athletic build, really good route runner, good hands catcher. Then comes the issue that I have. And I've had this issue before out of Ohio State receivers, and that's why I'm not letting it bother me. I think he has to run at the combine because I'm scared to death what he's going to run.
I think he's too slow.
I could see a path that Carnell Tate throws a time that starts with a 4, a period, and a 6. And that ain't good. Now, you know what makes me feel better about that? The fact that I know Malik Neighbors will be on the other side and Wan'Dale Robinson will be in the slot. Then I feel okay about it because now he's the bigger, more physical. He's the guy that Jackson Dart can trust. Malik Neighbors is the big play guy. Wan'Dale Robinson's the slot check down guy. I've got Scattaboo out of the backfield. Now I feel like I got all the weapons in place. The Giants would love it if Francis Mauigoa fell here. He's not going to. He's not. Just because he is the reason I had him at 3 is because he's the only non-yeah-but player. Every other one of these guys, I've got a yeah-but. Tate's, he can shut everything virtually every negative I could say about him, he could shut up by showing up at the combine and running a 4.48. And I'll go, yep, number one receiver, not even close. He's 1, 2, and 4.
Problem with being a 4.6 guy is separation, right?
Well, it is. The thing that the reason I can take him at 5, even though I have speed concerns, he's a yak monster. Mm-hmm. Because when he gets the ball in his hand, he's really hard to break down. I don't have a ton of fear with Tate, but that speed is really the one. There's another receiver in this class that I have markedly more fear of. And, you know, we're through pick 5. We're on to pick 6. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's a great chance that this is where you hear his name.
Well, at number 6, it's the Cleveland Browns.
Jordyn Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. If you just watch the highlight reels on him and there's no yeah but, you would say to me, how in this world is he not the number 1 receiver in this class? Mm-hmm. Because his raw, absolute talent is out of this world. I have one huge angina, diarrhea-inducing issue with Jordyn Tyson.
He played in the Big 12?
That doesn't help anything. It scares me that he's been hurt every single year.
Okay.
That just worries me.
That'd be enough for me to go, well, I don't know, at 6.
Well, and it's not just that he's been hurt. It's that it's been different things, and they've been nagging injuries. And then comes the biggest issue I have with him. Hey, you remember a player that, and this is the first time his name comes up this year because he is without a doubt the one that this bothers me the most about. You remember a player named Kerryon Johnson that we talked about a lot?
Oh, yeah.
What did I say about him was my only reservation?
He's built like a basketball player.
He's got a basketball player's build. That's exactly what I say out of Jordyn Tyson. Those guys that come into the league with nagging injuries, they tend to have them forever. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure with the way that he plays. By the way, Jordyn Tyson was also an elite high school basketball player. He almost played basketball. His brother does play basketball. He plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. His hands are great. I think he's a seamless route runner. I think he's a good hands catcher. I think he shows up in the biggest moments. All of the things I could possibly want out of a receiver. The only thing that scares me is that his injury history is terrifying. Mm-hmm. He was at Colorado, and yes, before anybody asked me, I did go, he knows Shador. They're pretty comfortable with each other. That could work. Because I do think Shador Sanders is starting quarterback of Cleveland Browns next year. With you picking at 6, I don't see a path that you have another option. You invested a 3 and a 5 on a team that needs players. You almost have to go in next year with one of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, both of them, but one of them starting and one of them's the backup.
So no Ty Simpson here.
I can't take Ty Simpson this high.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you were sitting right beside me in Atlanta. How many times did I go, what is it that people see in him? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
He can't save the line. He gets a ton of passes batted down.
But it's just like we talked about with Dante Moore. If Dante Moore is in this draft class and they do go Fernando and Dante 1 and 2, Ty Simpson's sitting there What's going to keep somebody from pulling that trigger at 6 or
J.J. McCarthy.
8 or 9 or
J.J. McCarthy. That's exactly what stops them.
okay?
Especially now, and I'm glad you brought this up. There are two things that stop them: the history of taking quarterbacks that are 40 overall at 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. The other one is next year is a quarterback supernova. I don't see a path that we don't break the record for quarterbacks in the first round next year.
No.
I'll be honest with you. If Dante Moore doesn't come out, I don't think the Jets take a quarterback at 2. I think Mendoza goes 1. Ty Simpson still probably goes about where I have him, and the Jets would either go Carnell, Tate, or Jordyn, Tyson, or Caleb Downs. Just go get the best player on the board. We pick again at 15 or at 16. Sorry, Baltimore, you screwed me on that one. Had all this done, then Baltimore loses, and the whole draft order changes from 14 down. I don't think they would reach for Ty Simpson. Because I have yet to talk to a scout that it doesn't have a huge about him. And if I'm Cleveland, especially because you kept Andrew Berry, and I know that he was kind of forced to take Shedeur Sanders by Jimmy Haslam, between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur, if you add those two picks together, it's basically like you took a quarterback in the second round. You take one the next year, it makes you look like a buffoon, especially if it doesn't work out. I think they will try to prop up what they have, not replace the quarterback. And and I'm not going to lie, with this first mock, when I see things like this, I mean, Jordan Tyson's brother plays for the Cavs. That's also in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I could see a path where he really shows out when he's in Cleveland, when he shows up to the meeting. This is where I want to be. I want to be close to my brother. Those things do play into my mind early. They don't as much late, because by that time I've already gotten reports of, well, he was great in Cleveland or he was terrible in Las Vegas. At this point, I start reading tea leaves a little bit. And that Jordan Tyson here just makes too much sense.
Mock Draft 1.0 for the Sportsocracy here on ESPN. Asheville will be back on a
best day of the year, Mock Draft Wednesday 1.0.
right after these messages.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We are back in the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. Mock Draft 1.0. The Draftmas season really getting underway here on ESPN Asheville. Now, Jeremy, we're at number 7, correct?
Correct.
And number 7, we find ourselves in a situation much like, we have in years past, where the best player in the draft,
best 2 players,
does not go number 1.
1 and 2 on my board are still here.
Yep. So at 7,
the Washington Commanders. Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. He can only fall so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. Look, he doesn't play a value position per se, but how good does a kid have to be? I mean, 'cause you remember what I said about Kyle Hamilton, who has been the best player on the Ravens defense.
right.
At some point, the value is too much. He was number 1 on my board that year. Caleb Downs is better than Kyle Hamilton.
He'd have been number 1 on the board probably the last 3 years.
I can't tell you you're wrong. I mean, his floor is Rod Woodson.
That's his floor?
His ceiling's Ed Reed. That's how good this kid is.
That's a limited window, if you ask me.
That's not as limited as
he's
you
going to
think.
be great or he's going to be super great.
Yeah. Caleb Downs is one of those, hey, you don't come in contact with like aliens or anything in the next 15 years. Cool. Your Hall of Fame jacket's waiting on you 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And I don't say that lightly. I never say that about players. Caleb Downs is one of the 5 highest rated players I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
He's just superhuman. And is safety one of the biggest needs for Washington? No. But just think about where that team was a year ago. All right, so this is a team that's picked at 29 last year. You have the blip year where Jaden Daniels is hurt, and you wind up here. Just take the best player on the board. I know you need a pass rusher. I get it. I do. There is a second tier of pass rushers that I'm good with. Mm-hmm. You don't have a second-round pick. You got to get a dog.
Yep.
And Caleb Downs is a dog.
And if there's one fan base that knows how important a safety can be
that's the one
to locking down,
Taylor.
exactly, can lock down one defense, it would be the Washington franchise.
To me, that's the easy. To me, Caleb Downs' absolute drop-dead floor is 7. He is not getting any further than that.
Yeah.
I did consider the 2 pass rushers. But the more I looked at it, I couldn't click the button. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Maybe Adam Peters looks at it differently than me because they do need somebody that can get after the quarterback. I think a team that has the flexibility that they do, I think you will be able to add that player. You're not able to add a Caleb Downs. He's just that special. You draft this guy or you don't have this guy because these guys never see the light of day in free agency. Unless they're 80 years old, and then they come play for the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Number 8 in the 2026 NFL draft order is the New Orleans Saints.
Rueben Bain Jr., edge rusher, Miami. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I about said New Orleans.
So why would Washington not take Rueben Bain if they need a pass rusher?
So the problem with Rueben Bain, and this is going to be one of those that we're going to argue about this. And every time you see me on a podcast or another show or anything talking about the NFL draft, I'm going to have to answer 100 questions about Rueben Bain because he's built weird. He's not big enough to be a defensive tackle because he's only 270 pounds, but he's too big to play on the outside for certain teams. I don't think New Orleans is one of those teams because to me, that's the replacement to Cam Jordyn. You put him on the opposite side of Chase Young, and you've got 2 dudes that can harass a quarterback. If Caleb Downs fell here, you take Caleb Downs and you dance to the podium as you do it. I just don't see a way that that's going to happen. I have heard every knock on Rueben Bain, and my only response, and Tank, you can attest to this, we've done a lot of drafts together. How many players have I said what I'm getting ready to say? Just watch the damn tape. Stop telling me the numbers.
Yes.
Stop being a nerd. Put your pocket protector up. Take your compass and shove it up your keister. Watch the tape. Because if you watch Rueben Bain, I don't want to hear about how long his arms are. I don't care about how heavy he is. He is strong as a bull moose, and he wins over and over and over again. If you want to ding him because he's had some injury issues, to me it's not a ton. If you want to ding him on that, more power to you. You let him fall to me, I'll take him, and I'll do it with a smile.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to argue about this guy a lot. I told you this about James Pierce a year ago. I told you this about Jared Verse 2 years ago. Do you think that Atlanta and the Rams are glad they sided with me?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you think they're too worried about, Jared Verse's build or James Pierce being a character issue? We're going to be saying the same thing about Rueben Bain and his arm length.
Mm-hmm. The number 9 pick belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs. And he's right there for the taking.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not a medium, but I believe I said this 6 weeks ago, and here we are. Jeremiyah Love, running back Notre Dame.
It solves all your rushing problems.
Mm-hmm. I don't care if the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs consists of Tank Spencer, Eddie Fox, Mark Starling, Josh Michael, and Jessica Fuller. I don't care.
I love that you threw Jessica in there.
I did that. Hey, she's tall. I don't care. Mm-hmm. You mix him with Pat Mahomes, his ability to catch out of the backfield, his elusiveness in space. You want me to tell you why he falls to 9? It's 2 words.
Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty. Because everybody looked at him that way last year. I told you not to. I had a Marion Hampton ahead of him. Guess what? Year in, who was better, a Marion Hampton or Ashton Jeanty? But a Marion Hampton got hurt. Okay, Ashton Jeanty just sucked. But the line was bad. It didn't matter. yards above expectation. There weren't many running backs in the league that were behind Ashton Genty. Jeremiyah Love ain't that dude. I was not in love with him because, and this is just me, I'm being 100% honest, I am not huge in this running back class. I really have two that I love. I have two more that I like, and then it falls off a cliff. So last year, I was looking at last year's running back class going, well, Jeremiyah Love would be the one in that class or maybe the two behind Hampton for me. But I think he's close. This year, he's light years ahead of every other running back on the board. Oh, and by the way, he was really good this year and kind of eschewed all of the doubts I had about him. There's one running back in my lifetime. I've been doing this 15 years. I got one running back that was ever rated higher than Jeremiyah Love. And it was Saquon Barkley. That's it. Would you like to guess how much higher Saquon Barkley's grade was than Jeremiyah Love?
How much?
I grade on a solid number or single-digit, decimal, single-digit scale. It was 1/10 of a point. That's the difference.
Really?
And the only difference between the two is that Saquon Barkley was absolutely, unequivocally built like a Terminator. Jeremiyah Love is too, but not quite to the same degree.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley could have played linebacker in this league, and nobody would have blinked.
With them legs, it possibly could have been a lineman.
and look, Jeremiyah Love's 215 pounds, so he's no slouch either.
Sure.
Saquon Barkley was built like a Mack truck. Jeremiyah Love's built like a very large, very sizable Ford F-250, much like the Parks Ford Mobile Studio, which is my favorite truck on the road and the truck I drive every day. So trust me, it's not a knock. I love him. I think if he were to run, he's not going to, he would run ridiculous. I think he's going to run the high 4.3s, maybe low 4.4s. Vision is phenomenal. He comps to Bijan Robinson in a lot of ways. Bijan was 1/10 of a point behind him, if that tells you anything.
Wow.
Because and just for explanation's sake, I thought Bijan was a better receiving back than he was just straight line runner. Not that he was bad. I thought Bijan was going to end up being kind of what he is, which is we're going to run him out wide, but he's always going to need that guy for real short yardage. In the NFL, it has not served to be that way, even though he's had one in Tyler Algier. I don't worry about that with Jeremiyah Love. Jeremiyah Love, you need, can we sign a guy for $14 that when Jeremiah's about to puke in his shoes, we'll give this kid one snap so we can get a little oxygen in Jeremiyah before he goes back out there?
At number 10, the Cincinnati Bengals on the clock, and maybe they get what they've always wanted.
Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, Utah.
A protected quarterback. That's the number one thing on the item list that we keep ignoring.
This is another one that's going to be a really consistent argument. And I'm not going to lie, I don't get it. Usually when there's a knock on a guy and it becomes a huge point of contention and I see something so markedly differently than how the industry does, I at least get how you got there. I don't see how you got there with Spencer Fano. I mean, you want his body to be better? He's 6'6", 302. If he runs, he'll run Armin Mimbu level 4.9, maybe even high 4.8s.
Mm-hmm.
He's freakishly athletic. He's insanely strong. But he plays on the right side. Who cares? How many of these guys do we have to? And I'll be honest with you, I missed on Armin Mimbu last year. Mimbu was good for the Jets this year. I didn't love him. I still don't love him. But Fano's better to me than he was. And I feel very sure at some point somebody's going to say, but what about Amarius Mims? Yeah, he slides to the left side. Because I don't think Orlando Brown's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I had that fear when he was in Baltimore, is that Orlando Brown's one of those guys that's going to age really poorly. He's so heavy. Super heavy offensive linemen don't age well. By the way, that's why you're not going to hear Caden Proctor's name for a while. Those 370-pound offensive linemen, your shelf life is minuscule. Because your knees can't take it.
Right.
You're supporting somebody that's just way too big. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm going to move on from Orlando Brown. I'm going to slide Amarius Mims over to the left, and I'm going to play Fano on the right. Do I still need to work on the inside of that line? Sure, but you took Dylan Fairchild last year. I think he's going to get better year over year. He was pretty good by the end of the year. Am I a huge Ted Karras fan? No. I mean, I'm not jumping up and down about it, but you did sign Dalton Risner. And I think that's enough to keep Joe Burrow upright.
And maybe, just maybe, keep him healthy for once.
Well, and like I said, these are going to be really consistent arguments.
Yep. Because
you've got two tackles that are at the top of this draft that both play on the right side.
Mm-hmm. And brings us to number 11, the Miami Dolphins.
Tank, I think you probably could figure out who this is. What was the biggest knock I had on Miami this year?
Their back half was terrible.
Awful. You couldn't stop a nosebleed. You didn't have one corner that I, honest to God, thought belonged in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Who's my number one corner in this class?
Mansoor Delane.
Cornerback out of LSU. You remember in the offseason when he transferred from Virginia Tech to LSU, and I told you,
yes,
this kid's going to be a top 10 pick next year? The only reason he's not a top 10 pick is because he is a little short. I mean, 6 foot, so it's not a huge knock. I don't know that he's ever going to be a absolute hammer one. I know Workman loves him. If I'm not mistaken, Workman, I know he's in the chat, so he can correct me here if I'm wrong. I think he's in Workman's top 5. He's not quite that high for me, but he's easily the number one corner in this class. I like not number one secondary players.
He's 3.
Corner. He's 3.
3 overall.
It's hard to not like him. I mean, there's not a lot to ding him on. He can play zone. He can play man. It doesn't really matter. His instincts are off the charts. He's a little slender. Well, the wide receivers are getting smaller. Why do I care that he weighs in? Was he 100? I think he's 190 pounds. It's somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
He can be a little over aggressive. Well, think about the 2 teams he played for. He played at Virginia Tech, who struggled to score. Mm-hmm. And he played at LSU, whose offense was, and I'm being nice here, a little clunky this year. He's trying to make a play. Oh, you get your eyes in the backfield. Oh, you try to jump a route. Okay. I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. I can coach that out of you. You know what I can't coach? The fact that his instincts are out of this world. And he can absolutely just cut. I see him on a side of the field and go, you're in trouble. Mm-hmm. You're in trouble. There are people that think he is almost in that hybrid Brian Branch role. I do not see that.
So he can't play safety too.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying I would not ask him to.
Okay.
To me, that's my guy mentally, and we're going to talk, and throughout the draft process, we do this a lot. We talk ceiling, floor. Mansoor Delane's ceiling is that he's a top 6 corner in the league. Mm-hmm. His floor is he's a top 20 corner in the league. He's the best number 2 in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's your floor.
Wow.
Fred Richardson said he's the best pattern match corner in years. Yep. 100% he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad he said that because that's the best way I could have said this about Mansoor Delane.
There you go.
In terms of if he studies the tape, I don't know this because I've never asked him this question. I will ask him this question at the combine, though. How much tape do you study? Because nothing ever surprises him. It's never, I bid on a head fake or I bid on a stutter step. It's always, well, that ball should have come out right there, and the quarterback was late. And thankfully for him, he was late because I would have picked him off. And I jumped so quick that he went somewhere else. He dumped it down, whatever. It's never, he got cooked. And if I'm Miami, that's my dude.
Yep. All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. It is Mock Draft 1.0. We'll be right back.
ESPN Asheville.
Hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things!
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube for 2 days.
Mock Draft Wednesday.
There it was.
1.0.
Yep.
Best day of the year.
Yep. All those things. Draftmas season fully underway. The first mock draft of the year. From at the NFL Draft Nerd, Mr. Jeremy Green. We left off when we last left our hero.
By the way, did you, I flashed this up on the screen, but I didn't say it.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that when Jeremiyah Love got his first NIL deal, he contracted a graphic artist to make an anime comic book of him called Jeremiah? Mm-hmm. I think that's my favorite tidbit I've found so far about an NFL player, or about a draft prospect.
That's not bad.
I want to get.
I don't know how that makes me feel about him.
Oh, he's such a nerd. I already love him because he's such a nerd.
Okay,
and I love that.
Okay. I'd be interested to see where that goes from there. At number 12 in the mock draft 1.0, it is the Dallas Cowboys.
This was the longest I sat on a pick because I had two players and I could not choose between them. Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State.
Okay.
This is probably the easiest, laziest player comp I've ever made. It's Isaiah Simmons 2.0.
Why would I want to do that?
So Arizona did not develop Isaiah Simmons. They tried to move him all over the place. Sonny Styles, he was a starting safety at Ohio State. And then this weird thing happened. He got 3 inches taller, and now he's 6'5". It's hard to play safety at that length because I'll tell you this as a 6'5" guy. It is harder to move that frame than it is if you're 6'2". It's one of the things that always amazed me about Kyle Hamilton is he's 6'4". So they move him down to linebacker. And he was great at linebacker.
Yep.
Until he got to see Francis Mauigoa and the offensive line of the Miami Hurricanes. There is if you watch the deck from the Cotton Bowl, Mark Fletcher ran him over twice. And one of them was like and one mixtape. Everybody in the crowd, all your buddies on the sideline are going, "Oh!" Because he got dump trucked. I had seen that in the past. It was just he was going up against the running back from Northwestern, and so he didn't run him over. It was more he got into his body, and then Sonny Styles kind of drags him to the ground. My fear is I don't know what position you play.
Whether he's going to be a linebacker or whether he's going to be a safety?
He won't be a safety. That much I can tell you definitively. What I'm curious of is, and this is going to get a little cyclical, but take the journey with me. I don't know who the new DC is going to be in Dallas. I have a couple guesses. It depends on how you want to look at Sonny Styles, because you can look at him as Isaiah Simmons, or you can look at him as Micah Parsons. Because if you remember, I said the same thing about Micah Parsons. I don't know what position he plays. He stood up. He had his hand in the dirt. What are you going to be? Sonny Styles could be that. I would say the potential of that is about 10%.
I don't say Styles putting his hand in the dirt. Does that work?
I don't know.
I mean, you got to put a bunch of weight on him to do that, wouldn't you?
2 years ago, I would have said he couldn't play linebacker, and then he was one of the best ones in the country.
Right.
Well, I mean, and you say put a bunch of weight on him. It's not like this is a teeny tiny guy. I mean, he's not.
He doesn't look like a guy that would hold up to many NFL tackles.
You know who didn't? You know who else didn't? Micah Parsons. He didn't look like that. Sonny Styles is 245 pounds. If I'm not mistaken, that's heavier than Micah Parsons was when he came in this league.
Could be.
I think Micah was 235.
Maybe.
So, yes, he does look thin. His dad played linebacker in the NFL, Lorenzo Styles. Might remember that name. I'm just not really sure where to put him. He's a freak athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And I always look at those guys and go, the high side is there. So, and this is where the Isaiah Simmons comp kind of falls apart. Because to me, his low side is he becomes a really good off-ball linebacker that plays in a 4-3, and you use his athleticism, and he is an absolute cheat code to teams with tight ends. His high side is that he does that, and he has enough ability to put his hand in the dirt opposite Donovan Ezeraku, and you can just move him around a la how they did with Micah Parsons. I don't know which one it's going to be. He is top 3 players that I want to see through this process. He's going to work out. When we get to Indianapolis, I'll bet you anything you want. And you want me to tell you why? Because here are I think he was 2 on Bruce Feldman's freak list. 11-foot broad jump, 40-inch vertical. Oh, and you said he couldn't hold up to blocks? He squatted 675.
Damn.
This dude's not of this earth. I'm just not sure he's not freak athlete
right.
and good football player.
That's a lot.
See, because these guys get to the NFL and they never refined what they do. I always get scared at guys that have switched positions because do you know the nuance of how to play this position? I don't like drafting guys in the top 15 that are learning the position. Now, if you take the Isaiah Simmons path, you ruin them because they never actually learn how to play one position. They're just an athlete that's playing out there with 10 football players. If you commit, like they did with Micah Parsons, and this is what you do, and then 2 years from now we start sprinkling in these other things, you could have the best player in the class. The reason I gave him to Dallas, and this is not a great rationale, because I considered who goes at 13. By the way, LA Rams fans, be prepared to be really, really, really happy with the name I'm about to say. What the tiebreaker for me was this is an organization that from the top down has figured out a way to get the most out of a player just like this. I don't know that everybody could do it. My pick at 12 and my pick at 13, if you want to flip them, more power to you. Because I think if 13 win at 12, 12 goes at 13.
Mm-hmm. Number 13, the Los Angeles Rams, and their pick from the Atlanta Falcons select
David Bailey, edge rusher, Texas Tech. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this will be the number 1 pick that is commented on between social media and YouTube of how did this kid not go in the top 10. And I'm going to tell you why. I have already answered no less than 40 questions about his mental makeup. He got into a fight with a fan after a game at Texas Tech. He had a couple weird things that happened at Stanford. He's going to be James Pierce Jr. 2.0. Because when you watch the tape, he is not of this earth. I mean, he just wins over and over. Isaiah World, I guarantee you, has a picture of David Bailey on a dartboard at his house that he is using. He's hitting with a flamethrower every time he goes home. Because that David Bailey cost Isaiah World no less than $5 million. Because you watch that tape, he beat him like a kettle drum.
Right.
And it didn't really matter because Texas Tech couldn't score. David Bailey is an elite stand-up edge rusher. And I say all of that to say this. Can you imagine a defense that has David Bailey on one side and Jared Verse on the other side? Good luck to you. Because to me, and I will say this, I think Matthew Stafford's going to play another year. Because I think the Rams are going to get bounced in the playoffs. And I think he will go, you know what? I won the MVP. I still got it. Let's ride. Let's do it again. One for the road. And you can deal with quarterback in a year. You do not get the opportunity at a David Bailey very often. And when this falls this way, and I think it will, you can't bypass it.
I was going to say you especially don't get the opportunity to match him up with an equally disturbing pass rusher.
Putting in work with Bill Workman, I love the way he said this. When the book comes out in March of he and I's rankings and all those things, if this isn't on his particular slide, we did it wrong. He is a monster, but also doesn't have all the floors with elevator access. I don't think I could have said that any better.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't care.
So he's a character issue.
Yeah, I don't.
This is James Pierce again.
But I go back to what I said about James Pierce. Why do I care?
Right.
The greatest edge rusher of all time was a coke fiend that literally was punching people in nightclubs. But why do I care that my lunatic edge rusher likes to punch people in the face? I want you to be that way.
I was going to say, but could this end up being one of those that he ends up falling way farther than he should?
Could.
And then,
not Mike Green style, but a la Mike Green.
Right. And then somebody swoops in and goes, this is ridiculous.
I think in this class, there are so few guys that have just otherworldly talent. David Bailey's one of them. Mm-hmm. I think Bailey's drop dead is probably the next pick. I don't think he would get past Baltimore. Because you mix him, I mean, look, they took a chance on Mike Green. Mike Green was not particularly good this year. I'll throw another dart at David Bailey.
But because of that, maybe they'll let him stick around to 15.
They won't.
Next pick in the mock draft 1.0 at the NFL Draft Nerd Jeremy Green for the Baltimore Ravens at 14 selects
Makai Lemon, wide receiver, USC. You got to have somebody. Mm-hmm. It can't just be Zay Flowers and a bunch of dudes. And I think Tez Walker is probably your 3. You got him, and you got a handful of receivers out there. You don't have a Makai Lemon. Because Makai Lemon, he might not be big. He's not a big princess. But Lord have mercy, that kid's just always open. When you watch USC tape, there were times, and I actually wrote this in my – I'm old school. Megan just joined us earlier this week, and one of the things that she's been kind of critiquing me on is why are you 1,000 years old and you still use old school pen and paper, and then you have to dictate it back to yourself. The reason that I do that is that I go through my notes, and as I type them out, I'm going back to the tape, and sometimes I even put the tape on and watch it again. That's why I do that way. There are literally times that I'm drawing smiley faces on Makai Lemon's tape of this is comical watching people try to defend him because he's like a rubber band man. I mean, it's almost like the ligaments in his body are not made of actual ligament. It's just rubber, and you hit him with a car, and he just bounces off. And he's a $195, 5'11". I don't think he's going to run crazy fast, which may push him down a hair, but it shouldn't. If you liked Luther Burden, which, towards the end of the year, he was pretty good, Makai Lemon is Luther Burden on steroids because he's a much better route runner. He can actually get open 15 yards down the field. Burden didn't do that in college. So I see Makai Lemon as if I can play him out of the slot. Now, that is one drawback of him in Baltimore is if he's in the slot, then Zay's not.
Right.
And I'm going to have to rotate him. Maybe they like Denzel Boston better. I like Denzel Boston. I just don't see how you watch the two tapes and I've got a kid in Makai Lemon here who's like a video game. I mean, that's what he looks like at times. You know the little joystick when you play Madden and you can just juke? And so if you play on rookie, every time you hit juke, somebody just falls down. That's what Makai Lemon looks like at times.
So are you absolutely stuck that Baltimore has to have a receiver?
In the draft, yes. In the first round, no.
Okay, because as somebody who has heard you for the last year rail on my team for taking the same guy in the draft when you had other needs, I get that their needs are not like our needs.
Well,
right? Our needs are way better.
And those are not the same.
They're bigger.
And if you're about to say Zay Flowers and Makai Lemon are the same guy, they're not.
Okay, all right. That's what I was saying, because you were saying both of them play in the slot, and I'm going, wait a minute. Well, that doesn't match up.
Okay, now you're getting into a different discussion. Zay is the over-the-top deep guy that I'm going to try to against Pittsburgh. Against Pittsburgh, Zay Flowers does not have to play in the slot.
Right.
Because you got Joey Porter that I'm just going to run by. Jalen Ramsey that you're going to leave on me as a safety, and he can't keep up with me. So Zay can play on the outside, and Makai's in the slot. I can interchangeably move those two. The problem that I had with Tampa Bay is I don't understand how these three guys play together. I put Zay on the outside. Now, when I play a really good physical corner, if I go up against Derek Stingley, okay, one of you is going to have a bad day because one of you is going to play on the outside with him, and you're not going to get off press all that well. Zay's better at it than Makai. But when I go up against a team with a mediocre secondary, I got two guys that are going to hurt your dadgum feelings. Mm-hmm. I also have a weird feeling that Baltimore's offensive scheme is getting ready to change vehemently.
At number 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm not sure if you're going to love this or hate it. Keldric Falk, edge rusher, Auburn. Okay, meh. Why you go meh?
Well, because we've got the same damn defensive coach that we've had forever. And you know what? I'm upset about it. Will he help? Sure. Keldric Falk he's what, 6'6"?
6'6", 286.
He's ginormous and super speedy when I watch him on tape. Like he's just running around dudes.
He's also one of the youngest guys in this class.
I like him a lot as a player.
I think there's a lot of places. Keldric Falk to me is kind of like that old Dr. Seuss book. Oh, the places you will go. Mm-hmm. Because I look at him and go, right now, you didn't say what I thought. I should have known you were going to go Todd Bowles there. Mm-hmm. I was afraid you were going to go, we don't need a Keldric Falk. We have a Logan Hall at home. That's what I thought you were going to say. He's a free agent, just for posterity's sake. And I understand how you would get there. Mm-hmm. Because in a vacuum, you watch the two, and there are some similarities, especially in body size, body type. I understand how you would get there. There's just something about Keldric Falk, and you know that there are certain schools that I look at and go, man, you can't coach Got to Save Your Life, can you? Auburn's one of those with defensive players. Mm-hmm. Because invariably, and I go back to a couple years ago when we went to the Senior Bowl, they had three corners there that I didn't like the tape on when I watched it. Then I saw them at the Senior Bowl. I fell in love with every one of them.
Yeah. Individually, they were all good.
Yeah. It was, I don't like how you were used. Keldric Falk, here's what I can tell you about him undeniably. He will come in and make the Tampa Bay you know that thing we've talked about where, okay, Vita's the gap slicer in the middle, the zero tech, yep. And you can't run up the middle on Tampa Bay, but by God, if you can get to the edge. Yeah, Keldric Falk, he
seals the edge.
Seals off one side.
Yep.
The other side, I can't tell you. Kalijah Cansey, are you ever going to become a real boy, or are you just going to be a Sasquatch forever?
He's going to continue to be a tweener. Just, might be good, might not be.
The thing about Keldric Falk, and I don't say this lightly, the range of outcomes on him is so freakishly high that he could be Logan Hall. I can't tell you that he's not going to become that. I think his run stopping ceiling is so high that it'll never be that bad.
I never seen Logan Hall move like that.
Oh no,
I've never seen Logan Hall come anywhere close to the athleticism that I've seen out of Keldric Falk. Well, like in his chase downs and his vision in the backfield, like I've never seen that out of Logan Hall.
Well, and I'm not correcting you here in any way.
Well, you're right.
Because he does have that freakish athleticism.
I was going to say, you know more than I do. So.
The only thing about Keldric Falk that I'll tell you is he's almost like watching – you're getting ready to see this. All right, so you got two 14-year-old boys. One day, you have to hand the keys to a car to a 16-year-old kid. Mm-hmm. And that kid they do one of two things. They either gun it and they're going 80 before you know it, or they're in a 55 and they're going 40 and they're scared to death to hit the throttle.
Right.
That's what Keldric Falk reminds me of. It's almost like, dude, you can go 120. Mm-hmm. I mean, you shouldn't, but you can. And he's just puttering around at 40 sometimes because he's scared to death. If I hit the gas, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Keldric Falk's so big, and he's so still feeling out his body to such a point. I don't think he fully knows what he's capable of yet. That's the reason, because the tape on him is clunky.
Okay.
There are times that as a pass rusher, it looks like he's kind of doing the Madden thing of that's the quarterback and I have to get to the quarterback. Well, but how are you going to do that? I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. And he's just sitting in the bathtub laughing at the bubbles. But my God, when he figures it out, there is some tape of him going up against, and usually it's not equal competition. But there are times that I can't remember. It was one of the FCS games they played this year. He absolutely ragdolls a tackle. If you put Benny Hill music behind it, it would fit perfectly. Because this poor kid has the perfect plan, and he's stunting back. He's got the step out, and Keldric Falk just goes ludicrous. Just move, balloon, get out the way. And there he goes, just tumbling after. And I see that and go, if you ever figure out how to rein that in, your ceiling is nanners. And I love the fit. I love the fit for Keldric Falk with Tampa Bay, because if he figures out how to rush the passer, I think it unlocks other things you've done.
Yep.
Because now I can put him inside of Yaya Diaby, and now Yaya being a bit of a liability against the run doesn't matter because I've got Falk in front of him instead of having Logan Hall or Kalijah Cansey. And now I can hide Diaby. I get his pass rush skill, and I'm not scared to death of, oh, God, if they run on 3rd and 7, we're going to give up 9 yards.
Well, maybe if we go get Nakobe Dean in free agency like Trevor Sikkema said, then we can.
I swear. I swear to you, I'm going to send a message to Trevor Sikkema of, will you stop?
Don't ever say that.
Don't incite Tampa Bay fans. I got one that sits across from me every day, and he thinks you're like the smartest dude in the world. You said that and made him think it was realistic.
I did.
And now he's looking at it's like the kid that thinks they're going to Outback Steakhouse and they come home and get a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's not that the peanut butter jelly sandwich is bad, but it's not what I was promised.
It's definitely not good compared to what I could have.
To me, it's crap. I've had one.
You're weird.
I did have one peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I was not impressed.
You're so weird.
Peanut butter's good. Jelly's good. Pick a lane. Don't try to combo things, all right? Yeah. Just, hey, I like pickles and New York strip. Yep, that sounds stupid. That's how I hear peanut butter and jelly.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We pick up the rest of the mock draft 1.0 next.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you. I need her voice of wisdom in the darkest of times.
Oh, I feel like I'm doing that James Franco thing sitting on the first time.
Would you please?
I've been here a minute. This ain't even new to me.
One more story of Todd Bowles is going to sit down with his coaches on Thursday, and they're going to talk about changes.
God, he's so revved up about the Buccaneers.
God, I hate him.
God, if you had just listened to the fat guy sitting across from you a year ago, this wouldn't come as any form of surprise to you.
It's not a surprise. It's disappointment. That's what it is.
It's what he does. You know how I know? Because he did it to my team.
It is disappointment that my franchise can't figure this out. He is not a good NFL head coach.
Speaking of franchises that can't figure it out,
yep.
We're to the 16th pick of the draft. Do you know who owns that pick?
The 16th pick of the draft belongs to the
New York Football Jets.
Oh.
Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson.
There you go.
Hey,
remember Quentin?
Say, here's the thing. We traded a defensive tackle, and then we got this pick.
Mm-hmm.
for a corner, and we'll take a defensive tackle here.
There you go. Is he anywhere as good?
He can be. So I'll go ahead and tell you, there's 2 Clemson defensive linemen in this mock. One of them will not be in many other mocks that you see. I have watched a lot of Clemson. I think Tom Allen was the wrong coordinator. And I get it. Every Clemson fan hated Garrett Riley. He's the problem. I don't think Tom Allen was as good as you think he was.
Well, something had to go wrong because it took 1 year for us to go there's going to be 2 Clemson guys in the top 5 to now maybe there's 2 Clemson guys in the
first
top
round.
32.
Peter Woods will still be the first, depending on how you view Rueben Bain.
Yeah.
He will be the first interior lineman to go in this class. A year ago, it looked like Peter Woods was going to be Quinnen Williams 2.0.
Yes.
That did not completely manifest itself this year. However, I still watch the tape on him and go, that dude can be a problem. I mean, the body build is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a great first step at times, and he's freakishly athletic. He can play on the outside if you play a 3-man front, and I firmly believe that.
Okay.
The Jets don't. They play a 4-man front. But I think he can be a really quality head of the snake. I don't think he's Quinnen. Quinnen, you could have put me beside Quinnen Williams. He's going to impact games. Mm-hmm. It's just a question of how many resources do you have to allocate to him? He was better in Dallas than he was in New York because they had Kenny Clark and they had Adizua and different guys they could put inside of him. You can't just double team him all the time. Peter Woods is kind of the same way, but I think he needs to not see those double teams as often. Mm-hmm. Parker not being as good allowed teams to dedicate a lot of time to Peter Woods. Mm-hmm. I'm just going. I love the Bruce Feldman freak list. If this is your first mock draft with us, I reference it a lot. I'm just going to give you a few little tidbits on Peter Woods. This past offseason, Peter Woods did a max bench press. Would you care to take a stab at what the number was?
Oh, good Lord. It was like 350 something?
You don't even have the first number right.
4 something?
490.
Whoa!
He bench pressed 490 pounds.
That's a bunch.
He did 34 reps of 225. He squatted 700 pounds.
What's the record?
Oh, for
bench press?
Like 47.
Oh,
it's a lot.
Okay.
And power clean 385. Oh, and then I buried the lead. He ran a 4.86 40.
Damn.
I get it. Peter Wood's going to fall because the tape wasn't as good. You're going to regret it. Mm-hmm. Just mark my words. You will regret it. He's not top of the NFL, but I think he is so safe to be a top 10 defensive tackle in this league. Mm-hmm. And if I'm the Jets, look, all I'm trying to do, add players. Do I need a receiver? Absolutely. Is there one that makes sense here? Not completely. So just give me another defensive player that's, good, because we don't have many of those.
The combine record is 51.
Oh, Nathan Moody?
No.
It's a kid from Oregon State, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't say where this guy went to school. It was in 1999.
Okay, that's too.
Justin Ernest.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that one.
No, he's got the official record, but of guys who actually got drafted, because he did not get drafted in 1999. Of the guys who actually got drafted, the record was set in 2011 by a defensive lineman.
I know this, and it's going to make
you do, because when I say his name, you're going to go,
what is it?
Stephen Paella. 2011, drafted by the Chicago Bears.
I just want to
49 reps. That's a lot.
I just want to look at something. Because yeah, guess where Stephen Paella went to school? Oregon State.
Oregon State. There he is.
I could not come up with his name. I knew exactly what school he went to.
Yep. There you go. Let's see. Number 17.
Now, this is a caveat pick.
A caveat pick.
Because I do think Taylor Decker's going to come back.
Okay.
If he doesn't, I believe Detroit would chase I believe that's where you would see Penei Sewell go to the left side, and they would chase a right tackle.
Okay.
So if that were to not happen, then you would have to go some other path. There's not a tackle here that I can justify taking, but there is an offensive lineman that I can justify taking.
All right, at number 17 in mock draft 1.0, the Detroit Lions select
Vega Ione, guard out of Penn State. This dude is a monster of a man. And he might be the highest character kid in the class. I have never found a soul that has said a negative word about him. And if you tell me that they're going to have Tate Ratledge and him on the inside, what are you going to do at center? I don't know. Because I can't take Connor Lew this high, especially coming off an injury. I can't take Jake Slaughter this high. Do I try to take one of them in the second round? Maybe. I don't know. Vega Ione is the best guard in this class. And the only reason it's kind of close is because one of them has been an absolute shooting star for about the last 6 weeks. We'll get to him in just a bit.
Okay.
This is unequivocally the best interior offensive lineman in this class. Detroit Fan Man said Decker is retiring, which he very well may. There isn't a right tackle to give you. Anybody here would be such a reach. Literally, there's not another tackle that comes off the board for 10 picks. So you're reaching aggressively. And I can't do that in a mock this early.
Okay.
Ione is just a guy that, and it could even be that I've just looked at the rest of the class and been not disappointed, but it gets so bootsy so quick. Like, you get to chase Bisonitis so fast. I mean, he's my 4. And I think that's maybe a day 2 pick. Maybe. Depending on scheme.
What was his last name?
Bisonitis.
Bisonitis. He's got to play for the Bills, right? If I've got Bisonitis, I need to go to Buffalo.
I think Matt Khalil has Bisonitis, but you have to ask his wife about that. Vega Ione, 6'4", 330 pounds. Tank's dead for no less than 30 seconds. I mean, he's just a house. He's strong. He's strong as an ox. I can't take you seriously because he's just dead. I can't help it. The craziest part to me about Vega Ione is how good his feet are. Usually when you see a giant guard like this, they're very lumbering and clunky. He's not. And this is where it gets. I'm not pandering to Detroit Fan Man here because he said this. I think there's a possibility he could play tackle. I've never seen it, so it's a projection. All of the markers that I look for of can you play tackle in the NFL, he checks every box. The hands are good enough, the feet are good enough. I don't think he's going to be a sieve. Do I think he would be a great tackle? No. But if you got into a situation like this year where you're just cycling dudes, he's the only one.
All right, we got to take a break here in the Sportsocracy mock draft 1.0 from @the NFL Draft Nerd.
One final note on Vega Ione. If I have the big knock on him is that sometimes his hands and his brain don't seem to work in concert, and his hands and his feet are almost working against each other. There are times you'll watch it almost looks like he's pawing at guys. To me, that's easily coachable, so I don't worry about that. Some other people do, but Ione, to me, his drop dead spot's the Chargers at 22.
All right, we'll pick it up at number 18 right after this.
ESPN.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It is
Mock Draft Wednesday.
Mock Draft 1.0. Jeremy at number 18. The Minnesota Vikings select. Nope.
There's a lot going on
there. There was a lot going on there. Apologize.
Jeremiah McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. This kid didn't play, so I'm having to go back a year on tape. I thought Jeremiah McCoy was probably going to end up being probably a top 10 pick. By the way, this will be the first time I say this. It will not be the last time I say this. I don't think I've ever seen a collegiate defense that was this bad in the passing game that had 3 top 50 corners on the roster. Now, only 2 of them could play. One of them was hurt. But how are you this bad against the pass? I mean, and you have an edge rusher that's going to go in the top 52, and you couldn't stop a nosebleed. That makes my brain hurt. Mm-hmm. That's also why you wound up with a real good defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles. Tennessee's going to look a little different next year. A little bit. I think they're going to be real good.
No.
Jermod McCoy, if you can get past the medical, of which, I think not legally, but physically, if you miss an entire season, I have to say that your medical is a little off-putting.
A little red flag, yeah.
There's also there's a hesitation of Tennessee was not really in the mix. Could he have come back? We got a couple guys like that. Jermon McCoy is just one of those ball hawk corners that if you get this right, especially if you play a good amount of zone, he can be an absolute CB1. Mm-hmm. The negative is that coming off that ACL, you're going to have to pass the medical. He's not going to be on every team's board. That's the reason I haven't fallen to 18. He's a top 10 player in this class for me. But I do want to see him at the Combine. He's one I would love to have seen at the Senior Bowl. But he's not going to be there.
Yeah. Number 19 belongs to the Carolina Panthers.
I'm afraid Panther fans are not going to love this. But, man, I do. This is one of my favorite combos in this class. Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, Ohio State.
All right, pair him up with Derek Brown.
Carolina got gashed in the running game. I mean, just bled like a catfish. And I get it. Derek Brown's really, really good. Caden McDonald is one of the younger guys in this class. He won't be 21 until just before draft day. Mm-hmm. And he is a dump truck against the run. You put him and Derek Brown on the same defensive line, because I think he would be the 0 tech, and then you got Derek Brown out at 3 tech. I think that takes your defense to another level. And it's kind of like we said about with Schlesinger. Mm-hmm. You put those 2 big bodies, it allows the linebackers to flow downhill.
Right.
Carolina wasn't terrible against the pass this year. It was the run where teams could just bleed them out. And so I see a player like this. I'm not in love with his tape because he's very mediocre as a pass rusher. He's so young, and there's still so much juice left in that orange. Mm-hmm. I think a lot can come out of that. And I think he can become a true, honest-to-God nose tackle in this league.
Okay. That brings us to number 20 from the Green Bay Packers, the Dallas Cowboys, with another selection.
Well, I mean, you're not real good, apparently, at picking these guys. So we'll take one that has very little miss. Avion Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson. I know somebody's going to say this, so I'm going to try to get in front of it. I like Avion Terrell. Mm-hmm. He and Nate Wiggins have some odd similarities. Yeah. Not just that they both played at Clemson.
Right.
They're both smaller guys. The difference is that I think Avion Terrell has the nuance to his game where he's going to be able to know going in, I'm a 180-pound corner. Mm-hmm. So when I go up against the DK Metcalfs of the world, which, first of all, the hope is that you don't have to. Deron Bland, we're paying you $1 million. So could you take care of that, please? I think Avion Terrell can play inside or out. I don't know exactly how this defense is going to look. That's why it becomes such a projection with Dallas, because you have Savone Revel that you took last year, and he was just god-awful in that scheme with Eberflus. I think any defensive coordinator is going to get more out of him. I look at this kind of like I looked at Denver last year and don't take how Jahdae Barron played with Denver. It's not apples to apples, but it's kind of similar. with Terrell in the immediate, my intention is one day he's going to play on the outside. I can play him in the slot right now. And is it a little high to take a slot corner? Absolutely. The difference, and this is the just absolute biggest difference between Nate Wiggins and Avion Terrell. Avion Terrell's really good against the run.
Yep.
I've never seen a corner this light that held up well against the run. He moves very fluidly. He's really sticky in coverage. I mean, if I'm Dallas, I just got to keep throwing things at the defense. I think the offense is fine. Would I like to have a running back? Sure. I can address that later. Javonte and somebody. Maybe it's Jaden Blue. I don't know.
Right.
But I've got to throw pieces. And if I'm Dallas, I add Avion Terrell and Sonny Styles. When teams have 2 picks, I do kind of tend to do that. One of them is pie in the sky, reach for the stars, hope for the best.
Yep.
The other one is markedly safer.
Mm-hmm.
Avion will be almost as good, if not better, than his brother. And AJ's great, not elite, but better than very good.
Yep. Yep. Dallas Cowboys going to be bringing in a new defensive coordinator. Jerry Jones was asked today in the press conference, hey, are you going to let Brian Schottenheimer select the defensive coordinator? And Jerry Jones's response to the reporter was, just like President Trump just said, I'm running Venezuela. So Brian Schottenheimer has zero input, apparently, on the defensive coordinator.
God, you talk about a dinner table I'd like to sit at. Well, I don't let anybody tell me how to run the Dallas Cowboys. It's a huge team. It's a huge stadium. Huge television up top. You're doing a great job. Haven't been to a Super Bowl in a long time, but that's okay.
At number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers making the pick of the draft.
How many times can one team be in the same draft position and it look like they're going to do the same
I was
thing?
really trying to hide my chuckles while you were talking about Avion Terrell because I had not really put it together in my mind that this was the next pick of the draft. Ty Simpson.
Quarterback out of Alabama.
Going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There is a difference to me between Ty Simpson and Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is not just lather, rinse, repeat, do the same thing all over again. Ty Simpson is an athletic kid. He's an accurate passer. I think his ceiling is terrifyingly low. That's the reason I don't think he'll go in the top 15. You know, if Dante Moore doesn't come out, cool. We only get one quarterback in the top 10. And then all these other teams just go, wait till next year. Next year going to be fun, ain't it? Because we're all going to suck on ice. And we'll take 7 quarterbacks in a row.
Which is another reason why Trinidad Chambliss would probably come out.
Trinidad's an interesting one, but
if
we're not there.
I was going to say, if he doesn't put the name on the paper, although for some that doesn't matter.
Well, now I will say that would be an interesting part of this is if it's Ty Simpson or Trinidad Chambliss, which way do you go? I would say most evaluators would go Ty Simpson. The only thing is I believe Chambliss has a higher upside. He's also older.
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad Chambliss is like maybe 2.5 years older than Ty Simpson. So that's kind of a Ty goes to the young guy.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen a ton of Ty Simpson. And I don't buy Kalen DeBoer. I never really have. And I think he didn't do him any favors. Once things got tough and you had that game against Georgia in the SEC championship game, you and I were sitting there watching it. You had the game against Indiana. You just got out X's and O's and you got out Jimmy's and Joe's. And it also didn't help him that Ryan Williams completely, touched the Space Jam ball and fell to pieces. So it's not that I don't believe in Ty Simpson. I think he's in this tier. If there's no Chambliss, he's in this tier by himself, and there won't be another quarterback for 2 rounds.
Yep. One last pick for the ESPN show, and then we'll wrap up the final 10 and an extra Sportsocracy overtime.
And that's one where we can say the wordy terms.
On the YouTube stream only immediately following this here program. But at number 22, Los Angeles Chargers on the clock.
Caden Proctor, Guard, Alabama.
He's a guard. He's a guard. He's a guard.
It's my favorite phrase. We use it in every draft season. Caden Proctor. He's a guard. 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 For the love of God, do not make me say that more times. If you think he's a tackle, A, you are an idiot. B, you are going to be horribly disappointed. C, did you see how it ended with Makai Becton? You know that guy that he's going to be playing on the opposite side of? That's exactly how Caden Proctor will look at tackle. He is nimble for his size. The problem is those dudes age like milk on the outside, and he is so slow on the get-off. The thing with Caden Proctor, I think he's one of the safest players in the draft. Just slide him inside. Play him at guard and run behind him, and you're done. You're done. If you want to do the fun little gimmicky pitchy woo-woo with him, more power to you. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, sure. He's shown an ability to do that. He is. I always laugh when people say that a 375-pound offensive lineman is freakishly athletic. Okay, I'm going to give you a point of comparison. That's like looking at somebody on the table that's getting liposuction and going, man, you're really not fat if we were walking out of a Jenny Craig meeting. You're still fat. You're just not as fat as I expected you to be. He's athletic. He still has knees that are practically the same size as every other knee you've ever seen. If you keep doing that forever, you're going to fall apart. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Time and gravity are undefeated. How do you mitigate that? The same way that the Philadelphia Eagles did with Makai Becton. They took this big, huge human, and instead of asking him to set out on that right knee or set out on that left knee if he's playing left tackle, you now just have to push forward. It takes some of the wear off, and it's just like a shock absorber in a truck. If you keep hitting speed bumps at 50 miles an hour, eventually one of those tires is going to be way closer to the fender well than the rest of them are because the shock's going to explode.
Right.
Caden Proctor's a good player. If you can mentally just take it out of your mind that he even played tackle, you will like his tape so much better. And he becomes a no-doubt first-round pick. If you are determined to make him a tackle, he shouldn't go in the first 2 days. That is a day 3, take a shot in the dark at it and pray for the best.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Flip over to the YouTube channel if you're listening on the iHeartRadio app or on the terrestrial signal. We got to get out of here, but
they don't just give us an extra hour because we need one.
No, but overtime coming up on the YouTube stream as we'll run down the final 10 picks of NFL draft mock draft. NFL mock draft 1.0 by Jeremy Green.
You could just say best day of the year. Call it good.
Yep, we'll be with you tomorrow here on the ESPN at noon.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. YouTube only overtime special, Jeremy.
Overtime. Yeah, the end of the draft order is not set. So really the 18 were the most important. That's what we wanted to get out for terrestrial radio. Everything else was, we'll get there. It might be.
Producer of the radio.
Ow.
Well, I had to make sure that we're not on the air, right?
I mean, I totally understand that. However, a little, hey, your ears are about to bleed would have been
I keep forgetting you have your headphones all cranked up.
That's because I'm deaf, Tank.
Yes.
When you have one ear that works and it don't work all that well, you got to be at Mach 12.
All right, we have 10 picks left in the mock draft 1.0. So let's see, number 23. The pick belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles.
This is a bit of a projection, but I absolutely love this kid. There are 2 teams that I really want him to end up with. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon.
Okay.
You talk about a freak of nature at the tight end position. This kid played wide receiver. In high school, he was a wide receiver. They converted him to tight end, and he has just run with it. He's the best tight end in this, and I like this tight end class. He is the best one in this class by a mile. I don't think Philadelphia can re-sign Dallas Goedert, and tight end is so important in that offense. And I'll even go a step further than that. I'm not sure that I care. With the way that offense runs, I'm not sure that I care if they re-sign Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Because basically you have two receivers. It's A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Kenyon Sadiq can function as a third receiver. And ultimately he would be the one that takes over for Goedert. I don't know that I hate the idea of them playing together. I also cannot wait to see what this kid runs.
I was going to say they do a lot of that with Calcaterra.
They did, and Calcaterra's fine. Calcaterra's not the matchup nightmare that you want him to be. Right? If I'm Philadelphia, what I'm looking to do is fix the problem of, I got to be able to spread you out a little bit. I need matchup nightmares, and Kenyon Sadiq is a matchup nightmare. He's one of the best deep ball tight ends I've ever evaluated. Crazy athlete. With tight ends, you always have to talk about how they block. I don't know what word it is that I want to say because he's not a great blocker, but he's good enough. I'm never going to say he's a plus blocker.
Is he a willing blocker?
God, I hate that. I hate that term.
It's my first of the year. Now I'm excited about drafting the season.
He tries really hard.
Yeah. I
mean, look, he's 245 pounds. He's not he's super strong. And he's another Bruce Feldman freak list guy. 435 on the bench press, 365 in the power clean. You want to hear the freakiest thing about Kenyon Sadiq?
Yes.
42-inch vert.
Yikes.
42-inch vert out of a tight end is not of this earth.
That's a lot.
He's the best tight end in the class. You have to know he is – this kind of goes back to Kyle Pitts of if he's your only tight end, he can be your one, but he can't really be the blocker. He can be the matchup nightmare, and he can almost function as a receiver. But he shouldn't be the one you fixate on as a blocker in the run game.
Okay, all right. I was just looking through the workbench here, and he's 12 on Workman's list. Overall. 12th overall.
Gary Burch said Vernon Davis, and I'm not going to lie to you, that's a real good comp.
Ooh, you tell me I can get Vernon Davis at the 23 pick in the draft? I'm in.
The difference is Vernon Davis was a little bit bigger. He was a little bit faster, and he was probably every bit as strong.
Okay.
But now, if you tell me those two end up in the same ilk of each other, I'm not going to be shocked. I won't be shocked at all. And that time, I said ilk instead of elk.
Yep. Next up, if you've got a nice case of bisonitis, you might like this pick.
Yeah, Cassius Howell does not have bisonitis.
How do you know? Number 24.
Assuming. I am just assuming.
Number 24, the Buffalo Bills.
Cassius Howell, edge rusher, Texas A&M. These are always really difficult players for me because I don't love them outside of specific situations, and it is so hard for me to explain why. So give me a team in the top 23, so a team that I've already made a pick for, that you think really needs a pass rusher.
Sorry.
You did.
Sorry, I looked at my phone at the wrong time.
I should have known definitively you weren't listening to me. Tank does this thing where he just nods like a bobblehead, and I know for damn sure he's not listening to me. So let me ask it again.
Okay.
Name me a team that I've already made a pick for that you definitively know needs a pass rusher.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Did I go too high?
No. I don't know that Cassius Howell is fast enough to play as a stand-up 3-4 outside linebacker type of edge rusher. Pick me another one. I should have asked this way the first time. You didn't pick the wrong team. It's just now I've figured out how I want to explain this.
Let's see. Bengals.
I don't know that Cassius Howell is thick enough to play as an every down Trey Hendrickson replacement. One more time.
Okay. Washington Commanders.
I know definitively Cassius Howell is not a good enough all-around player to be the best pass rusher on a good defense. So I can keep doing this with teams.
Carolina Panthers.
Same things I said about same thing I said about Washington.
Yeah.
Well, although he and Scorton, I don't actually hate that because see, then there comes the but of well, I don't think he's fast enough to play as a stand-up 3-4, but he's good enough in coverage that he can drop out if his hand's in the dirt. And if you can somehow find a way to mitigate the fact that he's not very straight line fast, you might be able to play him as a 3-4. It reminds me, and I'm trying to think of a kid's name now. It'll come to me in just a minute. He's a really good football player. He's just in a body that I'm not sure how you mitigate the deficiencies. The one team that I really like him for, especially if they find a way to re-sign Joey Bosa, is in Buffalo because he goes into a rotation where now I don't necessarily have to have this high expectation. I can plan on playing you 35 to 40 snaps a game and you're C-ball, get ball. Because he can do that. I mean, he was SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Kid's got to be pretty talented. And he is, and it shows on tape. By the way, Kyle Kennard was the name I was trying to think of from last year. The kid from South Carolina, where he's such a tweener, and he wound up going to the Chargers, and he stands up. And it's fine. I think it'll get better in time. But you have to build him into whatever it is that you want, and you kind of have to mitigate some of his deficiencies. I like the tape. I don't like the body.
All right, number 25, the Chicago Bears.
You ever have, and I know you tinker around with mock drafts, and by the way, at some point in this, I just pieced this together. At some point in this cycle, we're getting the Tank Spencer mock draft.
Okay.
We're going to give it to Tank, and we're going to bounce back and forth on how I feel about the things that he has done. Okay. And we're going to do it pretty quick because I want to do it before I have tainted the well by saying things like what I'm getting ready to say about T.J. Parker, edge rusher, Clemson. The question that I was going to ask you is, do you ever see a player and you have there's some things that you don't like? For TJ Parker, I don't like the tape from 2025 at all, but I think that was a defensive coordinator problem.
Okay.
And that's coming from a guy that played for one of the two defensive coordinators at Clemson in Mike Houston. He and Tom Allen, I just don't think they were a great fit for TJ Parker. Every time I watch his tape, I sit there and go, that is a Dennis Allen wet dream if I've ever seen it. That is the perfect, because I think his high side is Cameron Jordyn. Like, that's what I think he can be that good. TJ Parker was a top 5 pick coming into this draft. He had a bad year, and everybody seems to be forgetting everything he did up until this year. I get it. It wasn't good. Name me the defensive player at Clemson that was as good in 25 as they were in 24. They don't exist.
Right.
I've graded them all. There ain't one. So then you have to get into this weird, I'm judging you on 24 more than I'm judging you on 25, but I have to be cognizant of what I saw in 25. Do I ever think that TJ, I'm going to give you a name, and I'll just be honest, one of the resources that I use throughout this is NFL Draft Buzz, because I think they do really good work. They put a lot of information out there, and I think their player comps in terms of body size, body weight, height, weight, speed, all of those things, I think they play out better than a lot of others. And they had a name here that it kind of resonated with me. Mykel Williams. Last year, I did not like Mykel Williams. And the reason was because I knew what was going to happen was a team was going to fall in love with height, weight, speed. So time speed on him was going to be fast. He was going to lift well. He was going to do all the things you wanted to see because in shorts, he is freakishly impressive. The problem is he can't actually play. He is a ball of clay that you're hoping you can turn into something. Now, I don't believe that with TJ Parker. I think TJ Parker has a lot more natural, God-given football ability and just straight-up talent. The problem is his motor does not run as high as Michael's did. And I dinged Michael on motor last year. So that's where you kind of start getting into you got to have somebody that motivates him. I love the idea of him playing on the opposite side of Montez Sweat. And then you have that back half that can punish you. So you give a quarterback that extra beat because they're thinking about Kevin Byard. They're thinking about Jalen Johnson. They're thinking about Kyler Gordon. And that kind of mitigates some of the maybe TJ Parker doesn't jump off the page in terms of first step burst, but then you get into nuance, and I like a lot of the nuance. That's where I think the scheme fit works for Chicago. This is one of those. It's so early that I'm reticent to say this. I almost don't see a way that TJ Parker doesn't end up with the Chicago Bears because I think Dennis Allen's going to be screaming from the rooftops, get me that guy.
Right.
Get me that kid. Because when they get beat in the playoffs by a team that they just can't get to the quarterback quick enough, they're going to go TJ Parker. That's the guy. That's the guy I need. Yep. That's my guy.
Yep. At number 26.
By the way, that breakdown of TJ Parker would be an absolute doppelganger for my breakdown of Cameron Jordyn however many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play necessarily directly alike. Their strengths and limitations remind me of each other.
Number 26, the San Francisco 4th and Niners.
They took Michael Williams last year. I think you boo-boo kittied that aggressively. I believe you can fix that this year with one Romello Height.
Okay.
He has one huge red flag that there's just not a way to get away from. He's 82 years old. Romello Height will be 25 years old.
That's pretty old.
He'll be 25 years old when we draft, and his birthday is April 13th of 2001. Mm-hmm. He will be 25 when we draft him.
The biggest problem with that comes from you don't have much time with him to the peak, but is he more ready coming in?
Depends on what you're asking him to do. If you ask Romello Height to play in that wide nine, that Bryce Huff role that we've seen Robert Saleh be able to get good production out of guys like that. I have a second-round grade on Romello Height. At this point, practically anybody you're going to take is going to be a solid 2, not a 1-2, because I have more second-round grades than I have second-round picks. That's what this is going to be. The question is, which guy can I find that's going to mitigate some of my problems? Because in my head, I'm trying to mitigate what I did last year because I took Michael Williams thinking he's going to be, that's my edge forever, but he's not. Mm-hmm. So now I need somebody on the opposite end of Bosa. I don't know how Bryce Huff's career is going to look. Robert Saleh seems to take care of him. Him and Michael Williams, okay, that's not a long-term solution. I think Romello Height can be. I also, and this is going to sound a little strange when I say it, I don't know that Romello Height has to just put his hand in the dirt. I think you can move him around. Now, that wouldn't be what you do with him in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But in terms of what he can be in the NFL, he is an elite pass rusher. Elite pass rusher. So, sub-package guy with a really quick first step. It also takes a little bit of pressure off Nick Bosa. Because Bosa's had a lot of injury issues. Because I know somebody's going to say, well, it's not the biggest need. Well, for what's sitting here on the board, you don't have a whole lot of choices.
At number 27, the Houston Texans.
I love this kid so much. Mm-hmm. And I didn't until about the last 6 weeks. Emmanuel Pregnon, guard center? Oregon. He's played both. I think he projects as a guard. He can play center if we absolutely freaking need him to. Our center goes down. He's the one here. This kid's bounced around a little bit. He's another one that's a little older because he sat out the COVID year, and then he redshirted. He did not really play any form of football for 2 years. And it really strikes me as he's just starting to round into what you would have expected him to be when he was 22 years old. Over the course of the last, I'll just say of this season, because I can't tell you directly which tape it was where I went, oh my, he's turning into that dude. He is strong as hell. And it almost feels like he doesn't really know what he's doing. I watch him on tape and go, I don't even think you know what you're doing, and you're already this good. He's a little rigid, and his technique can be just ungodly terrible. But the good is really good. This kid bounced from Wyoming to USC to Oregon. And I think this may be the first time he's gotten higher level coaching. I also think it hasn't done him a ton of favors that line is really talented, but really raw. Because a lot of what I say about Pregnon, I say about Isaiah World, too. Isaiah World sees a high-level edge rusher like he did in David Bailey, he gets drug. But if you told me he wound up being a really good offensive lineman in the league 3 years from now, I'm not going to be shocked by that.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Pregnon's the one that can come in and play right now. He can play today.
Yep.
And I don't think it matters that his technique is lacking and there's room to grow. Especially when I'm looking at the Houston Texans going, you have to do anything you can to be able to run a greasy peg up a cat's ass next year. Because you cannot do that right now. It hadn't mattered if it was Nick Chubb, Woody Marks, British Brooks, Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson, D'Amico Ryans. I don't care who's been back there. Nobody can run.
Yep.
Because you don't have that guy. I think Emmanuel Pregnon can be that big, hulking guard, him and Ed Ingram, that tie, especially with Urshery and whatever you're going to do on the right side long term.
It's time to get out the member berries, Jeremy, because you remember when last draft we're hanging out Green Bay, Wisconsin, and the Jacksonville Jaguars traded a first-round draft pick that we both went, wait, you traded another top 5, top 10 pick for Travis Hunter? Really?
About that.
Well, that pick actually ends up being number 28, the Cleveland Browns, with the selection.
You remember earlier when I said teams that have 2 picks?
I remember.
I try to take a risky pick or a riskier pick and a safer. Well, sometimes when you're the Cleveland Browns and you got a GM that's got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel, and you've got a really tenuous quarterback situation, you got to take a little bit more of a swing. So I took a high-end swing at Jordyn Tyson, not the player. If you tell me Jordyn Tyson's healthy for the next 10 years, he's going to be a real good player in this league. I'm going to take a swing at Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle out of Utah.
Why is that such a swing?
He's a really good pass blocker right now. And he is, and this is the first time I get to use this phrase in the 2026 draft this season, he's a big dancing bear. Real athletic. You see him on tape, he looks like a tight end. He doesn't look like a tackle. The other weird thing about this is that you get Spencer Fano, same team that went earlier. Fano plays on the right side. Lomu plays on the left side. I think there's a better than 0 chance they both play on the right side in the NFL. Lomu has a ways to go as a run blocker because he's just not physical enough. Right now, he looks like a hyper-athletic, big dude that wasn't always a big dude. You remember John Henson that played basketball at Carolina? Yeah. He was a guard until he was a senior in high school, and then he grew 8 inches.
Yep.
And he always looked like a little kid wearing dad's clothes because he couldn't figure out how all these big, long extremities he had worked. Caleb Bauma's kind of in the same vein of he's always been really athletic. Well, now he's really big, too. He only surrendered 2 sacks all year.
Yeah.
But then you get into the run tape, and the run tape is just really, really clunky. But you're going to have to put good weight on him. And that's where the projection comes. So I know somebody's going to say, well, if he goes at 28, why couldn't the Lions have taken him at 17? Because the floor on these two guys, Vega Ione to Caleb Lamu, is night and day. Ione's not going to miss. Caleb Lamu could be out of the league in 3 years. It's not going to stun me.
Okay.
He also could be a Pro Bowler. Because and he's not going to get to this size, and that's not what I'm trying to say. You take a guy that's this raw, he could be Jordyn Mailata 3 years from now.
Wow.
It just depends on how well he takes to the weight. It depends on how well it becomes good weight. That's the reason you can't just bulk a guy up. I get that question a lot. Well, he needs to gain 30 pounds. Why don't you just bulk him up? Because I don't want him just to be a fat ass.
Right. How do you bulk him up?
I want him to be 30 good, lean pounds. Because the reason I'm drafting him is because he is so mobile and nimble. I don't want to just pack weight on the frame. I want it to be good weight to keep him lean, but bulk up how strong he is. He is a bit of a project, but I think he's a project that can play right now if you start him on the right. Look at what Cincinnati did with Amarius Mims. Kind of the same premise. Because if you remember, Amarius Mims wasn't a very good run blocker either.
No.
Caleb Lamu was in a lot of the same vein there.
All right, number 29, the Los Angeles Rams.
You know, when in doubt of your quarterback, and you've got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, and I think you'll have Matthew Stafford back, just bulk up your defense and make the defense absolutely freaking terrifying. I gave you David Bailey earlier. Now I'm going to give you Colton Hood, cornerback, Tennessee. This kid's 20 years old. He's another one that won't be 20 or 21. He'll barely be legal to drink on draft night. And this is kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde tape evaluation on a kid. If you look at the good of Colton Hood, I could justify him being I couldn't take him over Delane. I could take him over McCoy. I could take him over Terrell. I could justify him being the number 2 corner in this class. Then you get into the clunkiness of this. He did not always look great as the one. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds. I think he's going to run real well. But I don't. The fact he can play any kind of coverage and he's very multiple is what took me to L.A. The fact that he is everything I said about Avion Terrell, where he's little but he's really good against the run, Colton Hood's the exact opposite. Colton Hood's bigger and not nearly as good against the run. So he's not going to hold up to that as well. He's not a good tackler. And I've seen people say that it's a technique thing. I just don't think he's ever going to be a good tackler. And there are a lot of corners that are just not good tacklers. There's a lot of juice left here.
Yeah.
And it's a projection. Same thing I said about McCoy. McCoy, the defense went to hell in a handbasket when he wasn't there. Colton Hood was in this when it went to hell in a handbasket. And you do have to wonder, if you're this good, why were you not able to take away one side of the field? He did to a point. But then you've got another corner in Tennessee that's going to go in this instance would be in day 2. And you just got thrown on all the time. I don't think he can ever be a 1, but you get to this point, the Rams need a true, legit corner. I think he can be a true, legit corner. I know McVay doesn't put that kind of stock into quarterbacks. I wanted to put Trinidad Chambliss there and I'm not going to lie to you, I really thought about it. I just don't think he's going to be in this class.
Yeah.
I also thought about a couple other quarterbacks. We're never going to have 2 first-round picks again. So, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Oh, and why not take a bigger swing or something?
I also think the Rams will trade that pick.
Okay.
I fully believe the Rams will trade that pick. No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. I think they'll take the best player available at 13. They'll trade that pick for a pick next year. Because there are a lot of guys in this. If you're looking for a linebacker, there's still a really good linebacker out there. If you're looking for a receiver, there's still a really good receiver out there. I could see a path a good team goes, that's my piece. I want to go get Denzel Boston ahead of the New England Patriots because that's the big-bodied receiver that I want. And then we make not necessarily a boo-boo, we just give you the ammo for next year in that quarterback class.
Right. So at number 30, the New England Patriots.
I always hate to tip my hand, but sometimes I have to. Denzel Boston, wide receiver out of Washington. I get it with New England. New England's got a lot of receivers. And they have a lot of guys that I think are talented. I like Pop Douglas. I like Efton Chisholm. Stephon Diggs is getting older, but he can be your one. The one thing they don't have, and I don't think Mac Hollins can be this guy, is the big, actual, honest-to-God threat. So you take what Mac Hollins was able to do. He's basically I've always said Mac Hollins is basically a tight end. Because the reason he's in this league is he's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the league. Big-bodied, strong, never wears shoes, kind of a knucklehead. Denzel Boston can do everything I just said. Oh, by the way, he'll also whip your ass up one side and down the other down the field. I know people that like Denzel Boston better than Makai Lemon.
Really?
I'm not one of them. Not because I don't think he's good, just because I think Makai Lemon is one of those really rare with the ball in his hands kind of players.
Right.
Denzel Boston is a rare. He's 6'4", 210, and I'm pretty sure he's still going to run in the 4.4s. He's strong. He's big-bodied. He's got really good hands. I've seen some people knock him on that. I don't really get it.
On the hands?
Yeah. I don't get it because I've never seen it. To me, he's got some of the strongest hands I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he may not have the best soft hands, but they're really strong.
I mean, you can pull up his highlight tape and watch. He was playing Colorado State. And I know that's not like a big-time opponent, but there was a throw in the Colorado State game where the ball is coming into the end zone. He's in the air with one hand. He misses it with the right hand, and maybe that's what you're talking about. It hit him in the shoulder pad, and he somehow caught it with the left hand underneath the defender as he's falling into the end zone for the touchdown. I see a play like that, and I go, I don't know if I can judge your hands negatively on a play like that.
So what some scouts call that's a second catch.
Yeah.
Is that it hits your hands and then it comes off, it's out there, and if you were to get hit, it's just going to go up in the air.
Right.
I don't judge him on because he did have a few of those.
Right.
I know the player you're talking about.
Yeah.
Denzel Boston's one of the players I've watched the most. Randy L in the chat said he's the number one receiver on his personal board, and he's a Patriots guy.
Yeah.
That's his number one for the Patriots receiver.
Yeah.
I love it. I think there are draft classes that we've had at wide receiver where Denzel Boston would have been the one. I don't think he'll ever be a true one, but I think he can be a really damn good too, especially for Drake May because that gives you another red zone target that's on the outside. Instead of trying to run the two tight ends, Hooper and Henry, across each other or use the big body over the middle, now I got a guy on the outside that you have to deal with because he is a problem.
Yeah,
he is a giant. He was also the punt returner at Washington. That's one of those weird little facts. He was the honorable mention all Big Ten punt returner at 6'4", 210.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Savion Williams was pretty tall, but he wasn't built like Denzel Boston. It might be that we get to the combine, I see him and go, oh, I'm doing the same thing I did with Savion Williams. You're not as big as they told me you are. Yep. I don't think I'm going to do that, but I might.
Yep. At number 31.
Denver Broncos. This is a replacement to Alex Singleton, who is 33 and is a free agent.
Sounds about right.
C.J. Allen.
There you go.
Linebacker out of Georgia. I'm gonna let you talk on C.J.
I
Allen.
like that guy. I mean, he's got a lot of real good speed to a quarterback. Trying to fight off defenders, well, that's not going to be his first step. But
because he's only 235 pounds.
Right. I mean, he's not going to be that guy, but he can really, really disrupt plays left to right, sideline to sideline, and if you call for it and his path is to the quarterback, he's getting there.
He's one of the better run defenders that I've seen as an off-ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know I don't like taking off-ball linebackers in the first round.
Right.
I think depending on your scheme, and I'm going to go on a 30-second rant here. Linebacker is one of the only positions in football when it comes to the off-ball guys where your skill set is so different team to team that a C.J. Allen is a guy that I really like with the Denver Broncos because you got him and Dre Greenlaw.
Mm-hmm.
He takes over Singleton. He becomes the run heavy, and then I can kind of teach him some of these things, maybe bulk him up to a NFL playing size because he's only 6'1", 235.
Right.
But he can play right away, and that adds strength on strength to my defense. The only thing that scares me about this prognostication to Denver is that Vance Joseph is notorious, and Sean Payton is too, for not playing rookies high-level snaps.
Mm-hmm.
If he's the Alex Singleton replacement, he would have to. Because he's going to be the starter. That's going to be the one next to Dre Greenlaw.
Right.
The more I thought about this, the more I really liked this fit. And it's another one of those that I go, if he falls to Denver, I don't see any way. You got to look at the rest of the linebackers and go, where am I going to find a starter? Where am I going to find a starter that can play that role and my defense not regress to a point?
Well,
you're not going to regress with C.J. Allen. If anything, you're going to get better.
You have not mentioned Anthony Hill yet. And why has he not been off the board yet? Anthony Hill.
Anthony Hill's a weird one. There are several guys that didn't get picked in this that would be worth a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that could be on the show tomorrow.
Yes.
Anthony Hill's, and I'll probably save a lot of it for that. There are so many conflicting reports on him. I like him a lot, but he, to a point, kind of reminds me of DeMarvion Overshown. Played in the same defense, and kind of had the same thing of, I'm not sure that most of what I really like out of you is not linebacker stuff. I kind of think Anthony Hill is an edge rusher that was cast incorrectly as an off-ball. I don't know that. He's one of those that I want to see more of.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to teach him that.
I know there are scouts that hate him.
Really?
And guys that I respect their opinion.
Huh.
They cannot stand him. Because I've been beating the drum for him all year, and I'm not going to say they've worn me down. I'm just kind of tired of having the fight, and I need to get my bearings about me, and the only way to do that is to see him up close and personal.
Okay. All right. Again, C.J. Allen, the pick at number 31 to the Denver Broncos. Number 32, the Seattle Sea Chickens.
I told you that my adopted brother, and this one ain't adopted. I tell you what, his ma and my pa probably knew each other. And I'm going to flash this up on the screen. Can you see the YouTube stream over there?
Yes.
Megan and I we were laughing about this earlier, and her exact phrase was, "Oh yeah, you're kin somewhere." Jennings Dunker, guard, Iowa.
Guard.
He is a guard to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's there he is. There it is. Big old red-headed ginger mullet. Save some for the rest of us, bro.
Dude.
But you talk about a kid with a friggin' mean streak. You tell me I have him and I have Gray Zabel with Charles Cross moving forward. I would like to get them a receiver. There's a drop-off here. And I'm not going to lie, I did consider Casey Concepcion because I think Concepcion could be what they wanted Cooper Kupp to be. I'm not sure that they put that much into that. The way Seattle is working, plus I really like Torrey Horton. He missed the end of the year because he's on IR, but I really like Torrey Horton, and I think that's your two moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I liked Concepcion, because I can play Horton on the outside, I can play JSN on the outside, and then I play Concepcion in the slot.
Ooh.
You still got Elijah Arroyo with Barnyard, and then you got your two running backs.
Yeah.
The thing I kept coming to was how much issue they've had out of that second guard spot. And I know somebody somewhere, a Seattle fan's going to say, we don't draft guards in the first round. Do you not? Because you just did. And it's worked out reasonably well. I mean, there's been some growing pains, but for the long haul, that dude with Gray Zabel as the road graders for your running game, save some. I'm going to say the same thing about your offense that I say about his mullet. Save some for the rest of us, bro.
So Jennings, Dunker, the 32nd pick, for the Seattle Seahawks. All right, on tomorrow's program, we will go over names that weren't mentioned.
Yes,
today.
we'll talk about, and we'll even make that a mailbag of if there's a player that didn't go in the first round. You super chat it. We'll try to get as many as people say in the chat of why did they not go in the first round. What can they do in the process to solidify themselves as first round picks? And as always, in the comments of this, because we're going to post this mock draft back out as its own standalone. This was a live stream, but we're going to post it out all together, just the picks. If you got a question about a team, I can't. If you ask me some, 330th, I can't lie to you. I'm not. Right. I'm not there yet.
Not there.
I can give you my brass tacks. I can't necessarily get into the deep divey yet. Bill Workman has done a lot of the legwork for me this year, and by the time we come back from Senior and Shrine, I feel pretty sure that we're gonna be just fine.
It'll be all locked in, ready and raring to go. We will be with you tomorrow at noon on the YouTubes and, of course, on the radio box, iHeartRadio app. Heard everywhere you go around the world. We'll talk about that and whatever else. Threadbare Thursday tomorrow, and we'll talk about some college football as well because we got our first college football semifinal game coming up tomorrow night.
Also, we will be doing a live stream for let's see, that's Indiana, Oregon. No, Indiana, Oregon's Friday. So for Miami, Ole Miss, we'll be doing a live stream. I will be in Mullet Manor, just watching along together.
Okay.
We'll synchronize our televisions and we'll say dirty words on YouTube about why our team's not in the college football playoff.
That'll be fun stuff.
Mine, real simple. Mike fucking Norvell. There's my 3 words.
Oh, my team got eliminated. I don't have much to say, but I do want to get one of those in there. Todd fucking Bowles.
There he is.
Thank you.
If Todd Bowles goes missing, look in the basement of Tank's house. He's got him down there going full Buffalo Bill with the old sack tuck going, and puts the lotion in the basement.
It's that old joke. What's the difference between dead Todd Bowles and a Rolls Royce?
There's tire marks. Oh, nope. Nope.
I don't have a Rolls Royce hidden in my garage.
Oh.
We'll be back with you tomorrow.
I was telling the...
Yeah, wrong joke.
Yeah, well, I had 2 of them, and I couldn't figure out which one you were talking about. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about the Duke fan on the sidewalk with the priest in the passenger seat. Oh, I swear I didn't hit him. I got some bitch with the door.
Y'all have a good evening. We will be back with you tomorrow at noon.